WIFTBPM.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Remy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You
attack.
gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
If you're a business professional, have you ever wanted to multitask on your way to an important meeting instead of navigating through traffic? Fellowship Fleet Limousine and Bus Company is your solution for chauffeured ground transportation. Our company provides sedans, SUVs, stretch limousines, vans, and buses for corporate travel, airport transfers, and group shuttles. If you're a corporate travel manager, individual business professional, event or meeting planner, relax. Let us take the wheel. Visit fellowshipfleet.com to book right now.
Loving you has always been easy because it's true. Yeah. I wouldn't have believed if someone would have told me you would come along to revive my soul. Cause I was done with love, my heart had grown cold. gave me what I needed. You walked in my life and placed the joy where was needed. Not a mirage, what I feel for you. Ooh, put that on God, girl, I'm loving you. Said it's easy. It's easy to love. Easy to love. Said it's easy. It's easy to love. Easy to love. Oh yeah. Loving you has always been easy cause you're beautiful. Loving you has always been wonderful. More than you'll ever know. We got good chemistry, go together like love says. Passion and can we show one another tops all the rest. The feelings I have for you, I ain't felt in so long. So what we share together, baby, the bond is so strong. It's no facade of what I feel for you. Put that on God, I got love for you. Yeah, said it's easy to love. Said it's easy, baby. It's easy to love. Easy to love. Said it's easy, baby. It's easy to love. Easy to love. Said it's easy. So easy to love. Easy to love you. Loving you has always been easy cause you're beautiful. Loving you, yeah, it's what I search my life to do. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Check, 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 check. Oh, please, don't you rock my boat. Cause I don't want my boat to be rocking. Oh, please, don't you rock my boat. Oh, no, no, cause I don't want my boat to be rocking. I'm telling you just, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I like it like this. So keep this just like this. What you done for me? Oh yeah, I'm happy inside all of the time. When we're bending new corners, I feel like a sweet sex winner. When I meet
alone. That's when you hold me tight. You make me feel alright. Yes, when you hold me tight, you make me feel alright. Can't you see? You must believe me. Oh, darling, darling, I'm calling, calling. Can't you see? Why won't you believe me? Oh, darling, darling, I'm calling, calling. Satisfy my soul. Satisfy my soul. Satisfy my soul. Satisfy my soul. That's all I want you to do. That's all I beg from you.
Yeah, Ruthie
Satisfy my soul.
Reach the ruler. Mays Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding. So go on, make my payments high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Look, Hey, check it out. First drug lord was President Nixon. Oval Office was the trap house where he was tipping. Got the drugs from Nicaragua and gave us crack. Declared war on blacks. Man, tell him to cut the check and tried to make it seem like a revolution. CIA was the corner boys for distribution. We could tear this country in half for retribution. But I'd rather get some restitution, so tell him to cut the check. John Singleton, man, he already told y'all. He broke it down for you when he made Snowfall. They locked us all up and created whole laws. So send a message like a cold call. Tell them to cut the check. Look, we built this city. We built this city. Put this country together and gave him hella aid. Lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Over 400 years. Been punching the clock, but yeah, we still ain't got paid. Look, they paying the immigrants. They paid the Jews. Executive orders, man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Look, for sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Japanese internment. Come on. Was all paid out from the government. We waiting on our turn, we definitely earned it. So make my payment high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no stimulus checks, just run the bread, make it high. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Reach the ruler, Mays Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding.
Yeah. Yeah. Move your body. Don't nobody party like your body, pardon me, but I'm through. I got eyes on something that ain't you. I done seen how you move and heard about what you do. So I don't want no parts of that art. Hourglass figure, but not too smart. I done seen you with a couple of guys, couple of drinks, couple of hands all on your thighs. And I already see your next Vic. Free drinks and a couple of neck tricks. I'm not sure if you into it or into him, into deep or into them. All I know is in the interim, I have no interest to sink or swim. I can see the thirst on your face. Can't wait to catch it in the Me Too case. So I keep it moving in the 2-3 pace. Checking you ain't worth the deposit in that chase. You see my face. Yeah, you see my face.
I want somebody to love me for me. Happy, happy is where I wanna be. I want somebody to love me for me.
stumbling, wondering what to think. Approaching, fumbling, food and drink. Slurring and sweating like you stink. Even if I did your gender, we ain't in sync. Be original, don't follow the crowd. Dope fiend, lean, smelling like that loud. I'm looking at your friends and they ain't that proud. Knowing next time they hang, you ain't allowed. So stop giving me the googly eyes, or you gon' force me to tell you a few of these lies. My crew know the mission like 3 or 4 spies. Heard your guy tell you to chill, word to the wise. That hard liquor and bad food, a bad mood. So I'm a stiff arm sidestep, a bad mood. I'm trying to live my life, not catch an attitude. Normally I'm nice, but I'm about to get rude. Move your body.
I want somebody to love me for me. Happy, happy is where I wanna be. I want somebody to love me for me. Happy, happy is where I wanna be.
WIIFTV PM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case, he was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. On week 304 Wednesday, in the building, it's your man, Maze, MF and J. Not to be confused with Stacy, MF and G, but Maze, MF and J. Maze, my friend Jackson. See how y'all was trying to act up. amaze my friend Jackson. See y'all, look at y'all, just already getting ready to act up and probably gonna write a letter, say something bad about he said MF and J. Man, my friends. Maze my friends Jackson. See, Riis? They was ready to tell. They was ready to tell on me. Tennille's probably getting ready to call my mom. Listen to your son. He's out here talking about Mom, my friends. Jeez. It's okay? You all right? It's the Maze Jackson show.
Yeah, your mama at this age is crazy.
Huh? Tennille be telling on me too. She still be telling. She be trying to get me in trouble. I know she be telling. Reagan, she be telling grandma on me. You know? It's okay though. It's all right. I'm all good. I'm all good. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, in the building today. Man, getting ready road trip. So I got to say what's up to my man. We not flying. But we should have took the soul. What we should do, man, next time I'm going to plan a little bit better. That's all right. Zaviola going to get us straight. You know, the exec board, Devin, the exec board going to get it all together. They're going to spend it out. Shout out to everybody who was over at Andre Smith's fundraiser last night. Good time was had by all. Congratulations to our guy Dre, who is out there plugging away. Not only knocking on doors, but raising money and in his fight for the 20th ward. But it is, my man, today, Riis, it's week 304 Wednesday. This the day after Valentine's Day. I would have loved to have heard your
It's all the side booze day. Side booze.
What's that mean? What's the side? Is this the day the black people act like they know me?
Yeah, so if you're a side chick, this your day right here. This your day right here. They show you all the love.
Is there such thing as a side dude?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like side dudes. It's more than just side chick. Like dudes be like they going for.
Like yeah, I be number 2. You know.
How do you know a number 2? How you know if you want to? That's interesting. Anyway, so yeah, you said it's side boo day. So is that universal? Is that like side X day? You know, like so it could be male or female. Is that what it is?
Yeah. You know, you just in case you ain't had time to spend somebody on the real. See, this one actually gave you because it fell on a Tuesday. You could have actually manipulated this a couple of different ways. You could have went out with the side chick on the weekend, one of them days, and then like, I work Tuesday, it's a regular day, but then spend the day with your real boo on the 14th. It's like, see, like it fell in like a weird day that you can like really do, like different things. You can take her out this day, so yeah.
Wait.
So you could have took her out this weekend because it was Valentine Day weekend, so she could have still feel special like, yeah, this the weekend, I'm going out with bae, really, but you could tell like your main boo like, you know what I'm saying, I'm busy this weekend, but Tuesday on the actual day, I got you, because it was the actual day. So you can't get mad if you do something on the actual day and you didn't do nothing that weekend.
Wow.
So you did, yeah, so...
Yeah, okay. DJ Riis the ruler. You can always count on Riis the ruler to spill the beans for somebody. Somebody is out there mad at you, Riis. Now me, I did Tuesday and Saturday. I did the weekend and right, like you. So wait, all right. So you mean to tell? Okay, I'm not even finna go through this. I'm not even finna go down this whole road because this is too much. All right, so this is the Maze Jackson show. The day after Valentine's Day. This would have been. I would have loved to have heard from Toy today. Like I should have had I would love to get like a Toy and Riis mini minute on the day after Valentine's Day. Like what? How does that work? Right? Because I know y'all would have some week 304 advice for Valentine's Day. Look, you already just gave a whole bunch of Valentine's Day advice out to people.
Check don't come to the 15th, baby. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do something real big for you. It's not about the day. It's about the time we share together. Boom, so like now you got today. It's so many ways you can spend it, man. So many ways.
That just seems like so much work, Riis.
Oh, it is.
It just seemed like it's too much. It seemed like all of that, man. Like that's just
everything half off. You right. Yeah, that's right, man. You can go. They trying to get everything half off, so you can go and buy all the big stuff that was $50. It's like $20 now. You know, because they trying to get rid of it. Man, she good.
Yeah, that's too much work, man. I don't think I got enough memory capacity to keep up with all that. That would be just too much, way too much. All right, man, that's DJ Riis the Ruler. So, Riis, you never even told us how you was blessed or not. DJ Riis the Ruler, how you feeling today? You had too much game to spit. You forgot to tell us how you feeling today.
Blessed by the best, you already know the rest. And you was right, man. It was. The Yard House is in Lombard, man. I went to the Yard House last night, man. It was pretty good.
Man.
Pretty good. I didn't try the tacos, but they got some version.
That like, vampire taco, Joe.
Yeah, I tried to tell my lady, but then they got something called like chicken and pancakes. Amazing. It's amazing. It's like sweet potato pancakes. Oh my, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Riis, you saying it like with too much glow, dog. It's like good, it's too man, much. It's good.
It's good.
All right, we're gonna talk about it. That Riis said that.
I spent my Valentine Day.
Valentine's Day. I went to Yard Bird, which is the chicken. The presentation was a mug. They put your chicken in a basket, and they give it to you, and it was like, I don't know, man, but I knew what you know what they did though. Make sure there wasn't no twerking. They played all country western music. People was in there like, hey, this food good, but I can't twerk. And I was like, wonderful. And with no wild kids.
They ain't played.
What you lordy being? What you mean men want to be the side dude? What? I keep telling y'all can't. The side dude thing, there's a difference. Y'all don't want me to break this down for you.
It is, but
you don't want me to break this down for you. So you just playing for the. Do you?
Hey man.
Okay. Let's not even.
Girls is players too, man. You know, girls can be players too.
I'm from Bolingbrook. I just feel like they can't really be super players, but they got to keep the time and distance because you know. Okay, I'm going to stop. Let's stop this conversation now. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. DJ Riis the Ruler around here giving up too much game for these people. I'm too young. I'm too old for this. I'm too old. My pressure up. No, it's too much going on. Okay, I'm through looking at you, misinterpreted what your name is. Okay, you taking what? The one in Vegas. Oh, okay. Well, look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. Riis, let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. We are up and away. I wish we could take the plane. Okay, so it'd be like people be acting like I'm not on the radio in the morning. I don't know who that is. You better text though, fam. All right, Riis. So I wish I could take the plane to Springfield because we're going to be road tripping a little bit later on today. The governor is giving his budget address. We won't be there for that, but we are going down tonight for the Black Caucus soiree, which is the day usually they take over the Lincoln Museum. You know I started that, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. The Black Caucus soiree used to be at the hotel. Then I got him to do it at the Lincoln Museum, where we was free.
He's free, boss.
And that's, time flies, man. That was almost 2013. Yeah, that was like 2013. Oh my God, we are simulcasting. I forgot we supposed to be simulcasting with Ricky Hendon today. Oh man, hold on. Ricky, I completely forgot that we were simulcasting today. Give me till 7 o'clock because I gotta get some stuff out, and then give me till 7 o'clock, and then we'll call you. What number you want me to call you on? You gonna call me? No, you call me, and we'll bring you in. Call the 872. Call the regular number, the hotline. No, call the 872-259-74. Yep. Yes, they can. We got some technology. All right. My bad. I did not mean to have that. Look, I'm just like, y'all was all in the business. I forgot we were supposed to be simulcasting with Ricky Hendon today as well from 8 o'clock. We was going to do 6:30 to 8. But since I just forgot, we're going to do it now. So look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to run through the headlines. I'm going to get the social media question of the day. And then don't forget, we'll simulcast with Ricky Hendon starting at 7 o'clock from 7 to 8. This is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
With the longtime 34th Ward turning into the 21st Ward, there's only one clear choice for your next alderman of the 21st Ward, Cornel Dantzler. If you live in the 34th Ward, which is now the 21st Ward, vote for Cornel Dantzler in the upcoming election to represent your ward as alderman.
We will work together as a family and as a team so that we can make the 21st Ward one of the best wards in the city of Chicago. Thank you.
Punch 51 for Cornel Dantzler.
We can count on Paul Vallis. When Paul Vallis was CEO of Chicago Public Schools, he revitalized our neighborhood schools. No one delivered more for our underserved young people than Paul Vallis. As mayor, Paul Vallis will ensure that communities long neglected get a fair share of city investment, attracting the grocery stores we need, improving sanitation, and other city services in our neighborhoods. Vote Paul Vallis, a mayor for all of us. Paid for by Vallis for Mayor.
Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago. The violence in Chicago must stop. Willie Wilson pledges real action to do that. A revised police structure, 4 superintendents, more accessible to their neighborhoods, providing faster communication and concentration of resources. Willie Wilson pledges more integrated police patrols to increase community, confidence, and cooperation. Willie Wilson's pledge will make Chicago safer. Finally, Chicago, do it right. Willie Wilson for mayor.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. Please. Please don't leave me now.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:36 a.m. and I'm Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report. As we head over the traffic on the Kennedy O'Hare to the Loop, there's an accident, so that will be 52 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 26 on the Edens. Inbound from Deerfield to the Exchange will be 31 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 28, while the Eisenhower is 39 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, 27 minutes back out to Thorndale. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 45 minutes. Outbound will be 32, while the Bishop Ford is 39 minutes. I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 30 minutes outbound. On the Dan Ryan will be 17 minutes to the Loop, 12 minutes to 95th, while DuSable Drive is locked in at 8 minutes in all directions. Today's weather, it is currently 47 and breezy. Today will be a high of 51 with a low of 35. I'm Reese the Ruler. Happy Wednesday here on The Maze Jackson Show.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. And just want to remind you all, tune in today from 7 to 8, we are going to be simulcasting live with Ricky Hendon on WCPT. So we are... They said we blew up their numbers last time, but y'all watched the show on the Mays Jackson page. But you and we gonna simulcast. We don't get the numbers cracking. We don't get this thing going on. But let me say what's up to the people at WBGX 1570 AM who join us every day at 6:30 AM. I want to thank you all for tuning in. They trying to be like y'all. Give us a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. We are open for business. That's right, for the Saints who join us from 6:30 to 8 every day. Now, if you are early rising Saint or a Sinner, you can give us a call at 8. You can also watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's right, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Riis, we have started this new thing that we do right after we do the announcement and join in, is we say happy birthday to everybody. So, Riis, if you don't mind queuing up the birthday song, we're going to get the birthday song going. And once we get that, we're going to say happy birthday to some people. We're going to get through the headlines and get the social media question of the day all before 7 o'clock. So it's time for the birthday song. Let me say happy birthday to Elder Reginald Fleming. Happy birthday to Miss Linda Perry. Happy birthday to Clifton Bradley. Emmanuel Bashir Maganga Bay. Riis, I remember when Bay used to mean you was like, not Bay, but like that used to mean you was like a stone. Then Q Core. And shout out to my girl, Tondalea Tony Hollins. Me and Tony, Tony, Vince, we all used to, do you remember the Click? Tony's daddy owned the Click. And now it used to be our spot. The Click. Then it became Epitome /E2. Happy birthday to my girl, Tony Hollins Hunt. Shout out to all of the old school crew. This is the Mays Jackson Show, and we want to thank everybody for joining us, and happy birthday to everybody. Riis, I got to run through my headlines real quick, so I'm going to do that. You can switch up off of that, and then I'm going to get the social media question in for the day, and I'm going to get it all in before 7 o'clock, before we join the simulcast with former State Senator Ricky Hendon on WCPT. All right, Riis, the governor's budget address is today down in Springfield. We're going to be heading down. The What's in it for the Black People first squad will be headed down. We will not be there for the budget address, but we will be there for the Black Caucus soiree, courtesy of State Representative Lakeisha Collins, who invited us down. If you recall, we went down for Lakeisha Collins when the big white guy walked up on her. And we just had to be like, hey, sit your $5 ass down for I got to make change. That ain't what we said, but it was kind of what we meant. All right, Michigan State, I did not report on this yesterday, but there was a Michigan State shooting, mass shooting. Riis, you know what I hate to find out when you see shootings and stuff? It's a black dude. They don't have a lot of details. We'll find out about it some more. Do you remember the Hillco? Do you remember Hillco when they blew up the smokestack and it put smoke? And it put dust all over Pilsen. I don't know if you remember. Riis, what was you? You weren't with us then. It was in 2020. And so they blew up the smokestack. If you all remember, Mayor Lightfoot's team apparently knew and they assisted in blowing up the smokestack because they wanted to build a target. And when they blew up the smokestack, Riis, like a big old tower, there was an old coal plant. You know how they do them things where it'd be like, boom, and then the thing fall down and the smoke go up. Well, the smoke went up and it went all over Pilsen, and it made everybody asthma kick up. Their cars was covered with dirt and dust, and apparently there was a report that said that the mayor's office could have prevented it. And Riis, guess what? They covered it up. But that's just like they typically do. So that big thing, that was a big story. First black-owned independent weed shop is open in Rogers Park, I believe it is. Shout out to my boy Matt Brewer. That's crazy because I just ran into Matt Brewer at the Bulls game last week, and he was telling me he had some weed stuff going on. But you remember when I told you that I had first gotten invited to the weed conversation years and years ago, and it became the biggest multi-state operator? They squeezed both. Me and Matt were the two black dudes that were in. They squeezed both of us out. He was the first one, though, to get it without multi-state operator money. He did it with his own money. But, he went to Mount Carmel, Yale, Harvard, Stanford, one of them black dudes that be like super smart, but he like super cool too. So anyway, congratulations to Matt Brewer and his family. His brother was like, I just can't believe we got a business selling weed. I got convicted of this some time ago. So it was that, how you talk a lot of smack. I talk a lot of smack about him. I'm happy to see that I know one of the guys that was originally in the game, and he finally got his dispensary open. I don't know if y'all saw this, but the Dailies, Mayor Daley, the old Mayor Daley, he came back out to fight for his old home ward of Bridgeport. He's doing a fundraiser for Nicole Lee, along with his brother John Daley. What's interesting is that Patrick Daley Thompson, who had some challenges and is now back home, is supporting another candidate. It's kind of crazy, man. You never see I guess the Dailies could split up to make sure that they guarantee they're in, but we'll have to watch what happens with that one. I don't know if you saw the poll in the Sun-Times. They said it's possible to resurrect that most black and Latino Chicagoans want a rainbow coalition. Did you see that story in the paper? That was kind of crazy. I feel like it's it's like, who does that story? Like, yeah, it's our interests are aligned until it's who's going to be in charge, though, is really the key. And I think that, they want to align with us because we got a little dysfunction, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Super PACs. Did I talk to you all about independent expenditures last week? I think I tried to. I don't know if I got through the story. But super PACs are independent expenditures where people can donate unlimited amounts of money to campaigns. They are playing big money, big time in the campaigns. And it's just interesting to me. And I think what's going to be interesting is to watch how much money the super PACs spend and how much they're not spending with any black candidates. That's kind of interesting to me. And then, what I just was curious about, and I don't know if I'm going to have time to get to it now that we're doing Ricky Hendon today, but what happened to Chatham? Like, I saw a story in the paper and somebody said we want to get back what we had. What happened to Chatham? What happened to Chatham? There was a time when Chatham was the black Mecca. Like, everybody and their mama black. Chatham was like Beverly is to white folks, Chatham was to black people. You had superstar homes there. You had people like Mahalia Jackson and all of them living in the neighborhood, Nat King Cole. It was, I'm going to tell you, I wanted to live in Chatham so bad. And now it seems like it's just not the same. And I think it's being highlighted in the 6th Ward race. Shout out to Tavares Briggs, who's in that race. Shout out to Patrick Brutus, who will be advertising on the show as well. We just got his ad buy as well. So, but what happened to Chatham and what will bring it back? Or will it ever come back? See, my thing is, what y'all gonna do when, what y'all gonna do when this happened to Chatham? Can I do this real quick? This is gonna be funny. Not funny. It's not gonna be funny. What happens when this happens to Chatham?
I beat the machine with the support of the community members that helped me grow up, helped me, people who have been in this community for quite some time. I mean, one of the first people that I can mention is the owners of this coffee shop. Jesse Inigas is someone who is an activist in the community, and I constantly saw him advocating for his community. Jesse, come on over here. I mean, this guy's constantly always advocating for his community.
From the coffee shop?
Yeah, from the coffee shop. I mean,
look, they're building political empowerment from the coffee shop.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just seeing individuals like himself from the neighborhood, rooted, who understand what are the true issues impacting our community. That made me really motivate myself, and seeing a bunch of other individuals from the community advocating for the needs it back with you. It's made me understand that we have the same thing. We need the same thing a little bit further southwest in Gage Park, Archer Heights, Brighton Park. These communities that are, that were predominantly white immigrant communities, European communities that are now Latino immigrant communities, and I know have been underserved and underrepresented, and that's why it's time to bring some change to the southwest side.
What happens when that's Woodlawn at Wadsworth, right? That's Chatham. One of the things that one of the candidates told me that they realized was that as they were knocking on doors, that in Chatham there was a significant population of Latinos that had moved into the area. Not tripping, but I do wonder what happened to Chatham, and when it returns, will it be ours? All right, that is, those are my headlines, Riis. I'm going to move on to another point that I want to make. I don't think I got a big build-up for it, so why don't you just hit the button? I'm ready.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Who are the black heroes that won outside of sports and entertainment? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Bear with me here. I want to know, who are the black heroes that won outside of sports and entertainment? Besides championship rings, besides Hall of Fame, besides Olympic medals, besides Grammys, name me a black hero that won. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Now, you're going to tell me Martin Luther King won. I'd say, no, he didn't. He got assassinated. You're going to say Malcolm X won. No, he didn't. He got assassinated. Tell me, who are... Turn it down now. That's loud. Who are the black people that won outside of sports and entertainment? And when I say here, because realistically, the people that won, you're going to call them a sellout. That's why I asked heroes. Pick up your phone. Give me a call, 872-259-7474. I was looking yesterday when Salim was talking about, I was telling you I wasn't socialist, and he started listing all these people, right? And I was like, he did. He died. Does anybody really care? I mean, big shoes. But often it goes back to my point of, we celebrate being in the fight, not the victory. And so I want you to give us a call, 872-259-7474. Name me a black hero. Hero. Not a person that we call a sellout, not someone that we call Uncle Tom, not someone we call Sambo. But tell me somebody black who's a hero who actually won. Caller? Anybody on the line? Tell me some winners. Help me out. Motivate me today. Give me a call. 872-259-7474. Hello, caller. Who's this?
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Robert again.
What up, Robert? Man, you on the streak, man. What's up? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. A couple things. Johnny Cochran, Reverend Al Sharpton, Ben Crump. Couple people who won. I know Johnny died and stuff like that, but you see his legacy continues on if you go to Detroit, Chicago, other cities, you see the legacy of his law firm and stuff like that. They got like franchises or whatever. So I'd say them three for now. And Reverend Jesse Jackson. Yeah, Jesse Jackson.
Okay, so you say Jesse Jackson. I think I could give you Jesse Jackson. You said Johnny Cochran. I can give you Johnny Cochran. I don't like Ben Crump. To me, his victory is based
I
on.
I know where you. I know where you at with him. I know how you say Black Death is a hustle, but
his victory is really based on Black Death. And for him to be, I'm not gonna say he ain't been in a fight, but again, he wins with settlements, right? He wins cash. Is he a hero? I don't know. I don't know that I'm saying black heroes. Al Sharpton, I feel like the hero. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure, but I'll give him to you. But Ben Crump, to me, Black Death is truly a hustle, and his profile only raises more as more black people die. That stated, I'm gonna give you your four. So you got Ben Crump, you got Johnny Cochran, you got Al Sharpton, and who was the fourth one?
Jesse Jackson.
And Jesse Jackson. I give you. I take two out of those four. I take two out of those four. Thanks, man. I appreciate you on that call. Give us a call, 872-259-74. I take two out of his four. Jesse Jackson, he made it to the end. I'm not calling this the end. And Johnny Cochran. I mean, and think about why we love Johnny Cochran. We love Johnny Cochran because he got OJ off. Right? Right? Like, think about why we like Johnny Cochran. Like, we love Johnny Cochran because it was the one time, and I ain't tripping, but it was the one time that we got to see the white folks get this. Because they was mad. And it was just like, yes. I remember being, we were they took a picture at the University of Illinois the day that the verdict was announced, and it was like the black people and the white people watching, like, and everybody was watching the verdict, and all the white people were like this, and all the black people was like, yes. But I'm going to give Johnny Cochran, he got the biggest FU. I think he might have the biggest FU still standing because white people are still mad about OJ. If they could put OJ in jail right now for jaywalking, they would do it.
That's why when he stole his stuff back that was took from his house, they locked him up for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you stole my stuff, you know. Yep.
Right, and I'm going to jail. You stole my stuff out my house, but I'm going. So yeah.
Okay, give us a call 872-259-74. Ryan, I said Thurgood Marshall might be on my list too, right? He might be on my list.
That's a good one.
Somebody said Jim Brown. Did he win?
Okay.
Did he win? Like, I mean, did he win? I don't know if he won. I mean, he's a hero. So he's a hero, but did he win? Right? Like, who black accomplished their goal as a hero? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Caller, you there?
Good morning, Byron here.
Byron, you starting early this morning, man. You starting early this morning.
I'm back.
Are you back?
Man.
Are you back in the country? Oh, okay, you back on the regular clock. You got to go make them biscuits. You got time to make them donuts, Byron, because we ain't got time to be waiting on no checks, man. We got to go get our money. What's going on, Byron? How you feeling this morning?
Good. Strictly a question. How about Ben Carson? Did he win or he's not included?
Who?
Ben Carson. He's a neurosurgeon.
Oh, Byron. See? Now you started some mess this morning. Now you know they go.
But he's Uncle Tom, right? But he's Uncle Tom. He's Uncle Tom because.
Right, they gonna call him.
You said he's Uncle Tom.
I didn't say it. You said it. But you know what they gonna say.
I know what they're gonna say because he went to school. He was best in his class, and he works in the damn brain. And then he became Secretary of Housing. He came in here and helped us out with some some funds and some money. I mean, I don't know. Does he qualify?
Devin said Ben Carson before they fried his brain. I know somebody that I know that was I know black people around the world that were celebrated for meeting or knowing Dr. Ben Carson until he became until he got in the Trump administration, right? And they skewered him for that. But I don't think
exactly.
So Byron, you're saying that Ben Carson. So would you put Clarence Thomas in that group too?
I can't say that. I don't want to get canceled. I'm not going to say anything controversial. I'm back here. I am back in this city. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to bait me. You're not going to bait me. Riis, he's not going to bait me. I'm back at my P's and Q's. I'm going to do like he do. I'm going to protect my money.
I appreciate you, Byron. Byron
but
said...
One last thing, though, Maze. Maze, one last thing before I go. Did you hear about that case about those three teenagers that ran over and killed this black brother in Robbins, and the Kim Fox refused to charge the three guys? Did you hear about that case? It was on WGN.
I saw the case, man. I saw the case. I
know you can't talk about it because you got to protect Kim Fox. But that was horrible, Maze. That was just damn horrible. And they get to go home. How they get to go home under this new law? Tell me something, man. Give me a few words on that, please, and I'll go.
I mean, you want us to lock up 13-year-olds?
I know you can't. No, but
hold on. You want? Wait. You telling me?
Yes, sir.
That you want 13-year-olds that committed armed carjacking, that killed someone, to be put in jail? What is wrong with you, Byron?
At least arrested.
They got arrested. They got arrested, and they got sent.
I'm trying to be nice, man. You know how I feel. Actually. But at least arrest them. Give them a citation and something to hold them for at least a minute.
They got a pat on the wrist, man. They okay. They not gonna do it again till they turn 14. Oh, my bad. Don't get me started. Byron. You're gonna have me. You're gonna get me canceled.
I'll let you go on there.
You gonna get me canceled, man. You're gonna get me canceled. So I don't want to talk about 13-year-olds committing carjackings in Chicago, because then y'all gonna be talking about rabbits or something. Not like the dead man counts, but that's a whole different story. Anybody else on the line for Black Heroes? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Caller, you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, give me a call. What's up? Who this, caller? Who is this?
Charles Baker.
What's up, Charles? How you feeling this morning?
Doing fine. I listened to y'all time for the first time calling that you've been on.
I appreciate that.
Caller. This subject was kind of interesting. I think I'm gonna have to agree with you on this fact. You know, we might win the battle, but I'm not sure we win the war. And I'm speaking from that personally. In 1977, if you would Google under notable Kentuckian, in 1977, I filed a lawsuit against the Jefferson County Police Department. Mitch McConnell, now a senator, he was over the department, and they wouldn't promote nor hire any black on the department. I was on there with one other. They fired him, but they wouldn't promote me. And anyway, I filed a lawsuit.
Are you on speakerphone?
And say it again.
Are you on the speaker? Come off the speakerphone.
Yes, I am. Okay, let me take it off.
Take it off the speakerphone.
Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not on the speaker.
You on Bluetooth?
I'm just on a bad phone, I think.
Okay.
I got a phone. I'm on a bad phone, but I'm not on the speaker. Can you hear me at all?
I can, but it's tough to understand you.
Well, yeah. What happened, my friend? I filed a lawsuit against Jefferson County and Mitch McConnell, and in the ultimate end, we won we got a consent decree, a 10-year consent decree that for every one white they hired, they first had to hire 2 blacks before they promoted a sergeant, a lieutenant, a captain. I froze rank for about 7 years. But to make it long, but here's the interesting part. We had friends in the court, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and Tennessee. They filed as friends of the court. And from that is where we got our black state troopers from this. It's under, you can read about it under Notable Kentuckian, if you Google that, Charles Baker.
All right, Mr. Baker, that's awesome talking to you. I'm going to agree with you and say that I think a lot of people have been in great fights and won great battles, but I don't know if anyone ever won their war. Look, who else? Is there any other calls on the line? I'm going to take the last call, and then we should be catching Ricky Hendon. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be joining WCPT. On the live line, caller, you there? Caller? My bet is that's the Ricky Hendon call. Yeah, that's the Ricky Hendon call. All right, so look, we're going to take a quick break. Hello? Yeah, that's the Ricky, I bet. So let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we are going to join the Ricky Hendon. Ricky Hendon's going to join us on the Simulcast with WCPT, and we're going to have some good conversation today. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
My name is Chris Levy, and I'm working hard to become your next 5th Ward Alderman. As a lifelong Chicagoan, I chose the historic 5th Ward as my home and a place to raise my family. This means I have a vested interest in our safety and prosperity. But we need a change, and I'm the best candidate for the job. I'm not a career politician, but a motivated citizen who cares and will do whatever it takes to restore our community to greatness. My name is Chris Levy, and I want to drive change. Please punch 60 and vote for me for 5th Ward Alderman. My name is Chris Levy, and I approve this message.
Over 25 years ago, Patrick Brutus decided that serving the public was the best way to help his community. And since then, he has been a dependable and trustworthy friend to all. Now, by fighting for safe and walkable streets, new businesses, and retail corridors, Patrick Brutus has the right vision and the most experience to lead the 6th Ward. On Election Day, punch 53 for Patrick Brutus, because he's our choice for Alderman of the 6th Ward.
A lot of thoughts in my mind, gotta designate what to leave, what to take, and appreciate. A lot of people talk fly, but I levitate. Rise above with the love when I meditate.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't toast no more. I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze, Riis, and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed to solve them.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the rule on the ones and twos. But I believe, Riis, if I am correct, on the live line, you have former State Senator Ricky Hendon. And we are going to, we did this a little, maybe in early January, we did a simulcast where he is broadcasting live on WCPT and I am broadcasting live on WBGX, and we mixed the shows together to have kind of a simulcast broadcast. Now, if he had his technology up, we could bring him on screen, but he doesn't. So let's do this. Let me reach out and see if he is there. State Senator Ricky Hendon, are you there? Senator Hendon, are you there?
King Hoffberg, affiliated realtor, helps you purchase a...
Turn him down, so he's not back yet. So they're probably still on their break. So let me do this real quick. And Ricky, text me or let me know when you guys are back, because they're probably on their break right now. So let me go to something, Riis. One of the things that I've confronted 2 times this week is the idea of the relationship between race and ideology. Twice this week, or twice within the past 2 weeks, I've had situations where I have challenged black policy. I have challenged the policies of black people and how they have not been beneficial to us. And the answer that they say, Riis, is, look at me, am I not black? They say, look at me, I have black children. Look at me, I have a black family. I have black sons. So I worry about them every time I walk out the door, right? But never really giving us actual policy. And I really want us to start thinking about this whole concept as part of the whole thing of the black heroes. But Riis, do you ever notice that when you question the policies of black people who may have done questionable things and you ask them about their commitment to black people, they look at you and say things like, I've got a black family, how could I not? They say, look at me, I'm black. I've seen it twice in the last 2 weeks, and I was diffused in my conversation. I think we got Senator Hendon there. Senator Hendon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Maze Jackson. Are you there?
We are there. What's up, y'all? This is the Maze Jackson Show, simulcasting live with State Senator Ricky Hendon, who is broadcasting live on WCPT. Senator Hendon, man, what's going on with you with this mad scientist brainstorming that you got going on? You got to turn us down because I can hear you in the background. What's this mad scientist stuff you got going on with us simulcasting? You got all them liberal folks over there. You know they gonna get in trouble messing with me.
Well, listen, Maze, listen. I posted a picture of you and Mayor Lori Lightfoot from the better days when you were always smiling and hugging each other and stuff. Things change. And I thought that people need to know why they change. Also, I didn't like this little Twitter attack against you. They tied Brandon into it, but it was really against you because I think that progressives need to be real about their stuff. What's progressive about attacking a Maze Jackson who's just telling the truth? But yeah, I find you brilliant and controversial, and I have no problem with that. And how you put up with Riis some days, I don't know, man, because Riis is controversial too. You know what I mean? And we were getting a part of your show. I just wanted to back up so my people would understand what you were talking about when you just came on. I'm sick and tired of a black person running for office. And when we ask them about things for our community, they say, hey, I'm black. Look at my skin. I'm black. Don't you see it? I'm black. I got a black baby. That's not good enough for me. Is it good enough for you, Maze?
It's not. One of the things that I recognized, and you know, really, Ricky, this conversation came because I questioned the policies of 2 people that are black, but I question their not their loyalty to blackness, but their priorities and the priorities of blackness. Because one of the things that I often see is that people have very detailed migrant plans and immigration plans. They have detailed non-English speaking plans, etc. But then when I come to those, and these oftentimes are black candidates who I then come to them, you know me, I say, what's in it for the black people? That's just what my question is, not to the exclusion of anybody else, but we clearly define other interest groups, whether it's the LGBTQ community, whether it is the female, whether it's women, whether it's minorities, whether it's Asians, etc., Asians, Latinos. But when we ask for specificity for us, for our community, which is the most prolific community for Democrats, we are often told by black candidates, well, look at me, I'm black. I had this kind of interaction at the Black Media Roundtable when I asked the mayor about her questions. We supported Mayor Lightfoot in the last election with the thought that actually after Reverend Dr. Willie Wilson suggested, like, we were all very skeptical of her. We didn't necessarily care for Toni Preckwinkle, but sometimes it's the devil you know as compared to the devil you don't. And after Dr. Willie Wilson leaned in and suggested to us that we all go with Mayor Lightfoot, I think it played a tremendous role in her being able to win all of the black wards. But what I also recognized over time is that while there was a clearly articulated agenda for various constituencies, whenever I ask what's in it for the black people, right, it becomes taken as racist, xenophobic, homophobic, or one of these things. I get people writing letters about us asking about our self-interest. And I think that's one of the things that is why I have a problem with progressives, quote unquote, because they really, in my estimation, practice an elevated level of racism by suggesting that we can't speak on our self-interest. The concept that a black man now in America by progressives can be called a racist for speaking on the same things that Dr. King spoke on, et cetera, just talks about how far we've come in this cancel culture. And so, Ricky, when I talk about this, you know, I think your listening audience will be like, oh, it makes them feel good to be able to vote for a black candidate, quote unquote, even if the black candidate doesn't necessarily espouse the values that would get them in trouble by articulating them, right? Where do you stand on reparations? Where do you stand on the migrant immigration and people being put into different neighborhoods? And because of the other constituencies, they can't talk directly to black people. And that really offends me oftentimes.
And me as well. And that's why that Twitter tirade against you really blew me, because I'm like, Brandon said it's pretty much okay for the migrants to be moved into the black community. We should be welcoming to everybody. Now, those weren't his exact words, but he said he has a plan just yesterday for migrants to come into Chicago and be taken care of. And then when we ask him, well, what about reparations, or what about the people in Woodlawn who said they didn't want the migrants in Woodlawn, you get crickets. So, but then he'll say, well, I'm black. Lori, I'm black. Well, that's not good enough. I don't want people to vote for somebody just because they're black, and I'm not going to do that. You know, everybody should have, like you mentioned, the women have an agenda. Fine, I support that. LGBTQ plus, fine, I support that. What about us? That's my problem, Maze. Is like when it comes to black people, we supposed to just sit in the back, and that's that. That's why that coalition, the black-brown coalition between Chewy and Brandon, I had a caller earlier, you probably didn't hear it, wouldn't answer any questions there. Oh, you don't like Brandon? I said, I don't want to pay a 66% tax on my hotel room. Me and my girl want to go out and get busy, get jiggy with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to be at the house. Sometimes you want a staycation. He proposed that. I asked the caller, what about that? He didn't want to say nothing. I said, do you want to pay a city income tax? I don't want to say nothing. No, it's policies that we should look at. So I agree with you 100%. Now, what's your phone number? They can call you. I got one caller. I want to bring them in, and then we could take callers from your. I want you to drive the bus this morning from your show as well. But let's take Pam from real quick, and then we'll go to your callers, Maze, and you take it over, okay?
All right. Well, let's
I
give
hope
us a
you
call.
can hear Pam. Let's go.
872-259-7474. What's up, Pam? How you doing today?
Good morning. Overall, I'm well, but I'm really disturbed by what I'm hearing from both of you.
Okay.
You have to take my call quickly.
Sure.
So I'm asking you, both of you. So are you all on here just to tell me what's wrong with every other candidate?
No.
You're not going to tell me what's wrong with Willie Wilson?
No, we're not. Let me be very clear. Pam, I'm gonna let you stay on, and then Maze can respond. This is a 2-hour show. I got an hour with Maze, right? Maze came under vicious attack on Twitter for having Brandon on his show. I defended Maze. I did not attack Brandon. I attacked things that Brandon is proposing. I don't have time to go down to Sawyer, Sophia, and Jamal. I got an hour here. I was defending my friend Maze Jackson because I thought the attacks against him were wrong. And I was very appalled that progressives were doing it. So Willie Wilson not perfect. Ain't none of them perfect. But we were talking about the attacks on Maze Jackson and how he felt. I mean, how I felt about it. Let's let Maze talk about how he felt about it, and then we'll come back to you, Pam. Maze.
Well, let me back up. Thank you, Senator Hendon, for the opportunity. We were actually discussing the conversation of black policy over pictures of my blackness. I already know Pam. We know Pam from other places, and we know that Pam significantly has a problem with anything that I say, regardless. So there's really not going to be anything that I'm going to be able to say that's going to change her opinion or her mind. So I'm going to let her have her pathway. The last time I tuned into your show, I heard her calling in and saying things. So I'll just go ahead and let her say that. Let her get her piece out, and then we'll take the calls. Go ahead, Pam.
Yeah, thank you. Maze, the way you set up that, I'm glad callers know me and they know who Pam is. I'm glad about that. It's nothing personal against you, but I do have a lot of disagreement with your views and opinions. So, I mean, tell people about your whole background and not just what's
Hey, Pam.
Just expedient.
Hey, Pam.
So let me just say
hold on. Let me stop that. Because, Pam, the reason that you know my background is because I've been an open book about it. The reason that you know that I worked on the school situation when I was a lobbyist is because I told it. I think that I serve as an open book, and it's funny to me. Oftentimes, people call in trying to pretend like, "Aha, let me show you something that I already told you 20 times." I have been an open book as relates to my evolution in the space of blackness. I have been very clear that What's in It for the Black People started out with What's in It for Maze as a business person. And as I continued down the path, I saw that what was happening to me was not just happening to me. There is such thing called evolution. And so if you want to talk about where you were 20 years ago and who you were 20 years ago, and then where you are now, and if you haven't evolved from that point, then I will be honest with you, you probably are lacking in some space. But again, I will let you continue.
But Maze and I didn't always get along, Pam. Tyrone Muhammad and I didn't always get along. We have to find a way to work together even though we disagree. But go ahead, Pam.
Can I make a comment?
Certainly.
Can I make a comment? Thank you for all of that, Maze. Like I said, it's not personal. And so I'm glad people know me. And I'm glad you're an open book. I happen to disagree with you. You have one perspective as a black man for black people. I have another. I don't agree with yours. Now, let me just say this. So since for disclosure, I'm supporting Brandon Johnson. Any of his policies you want to know about, go to his website.
So let me, okay, Pam. So let Pam, let me ask you a couple of questions. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Again, can I ask you?
You certainly can, Pam. You have called my show before. I give Pam, you know I let Republicans call, I let Democrats, I let anybody call. But when you say you're supporting somebody, it's just like you can ask me why I'm supporting Willie Wilson, I can tell you. So I want you're a black woman, I'm going to ask you a couple of things, and you can say yes or no. Do you support the migrants being put in Woodlawn over the residents of Woodlawn who are black over their 100% objection and the alderman's objection? Do you support the migrants being put there even though the black community citizens there said they don't want them? Yes or no?
Let me say it this way.
See, there you go. See, there you go. See that? No, Pam. See, this is my problem. No, Pam, this is my problem. If you ask me a yes or no, I will answer yes or no. You want to dance? You want to? Okay. Do you? Okay. Okay. So okay. Okay. So I'm gonna answer that part, and then I'm gonna let you come back to you. Brandon Johnson does support it.
I know.
All right. So okay. So stay with me. So when me and May say things like respect the black community, and here's a black candidate who is not respecting the wishes of the black community, you don't think we should have a problem with that? I don't speak for Mays, but you don't think I should have a problem with that?
I'm simply saying this. There may be some policies with some nuances. Immigration is one of them. If we have a full discussion about that, you get that opinion. So I may agree with Brandon on one part of it.
All right. I got a couple more. I have a couple more. I have a couple more. We are. I'm gonna come right back to you, Pam. We are in a crisis with this violence. I had a friend got carjacked the other day. They put guns to his wife's head, guns to his kids' heads. They were 13, 14, and 15. In Robbins, 3 13-year-olds just killed a man of a car they had carjacked, and it's just out of control. Brandon has said he was for defunding the police. During all this violence, do you think it's smart to defund the police?
It depends on what your definition of defund.
Okay, I'll tell you Brandon's definition. Let me tell you Brandon's definition.
Pam getting a lot of Mays Jackson airtime. Y'all let her finish,
I'm gonna
Ricky.
let Pam go.
Let her finish.
Pam,
No, let her
we're gonna have to
finish.
let Pam.
No.
All right.
Let her finish, Ricky.
Bye, Pam. Bye, Pam. No. Mays, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, let me take some calls.
Because I only got you for 30 more minutes. I want people. We can take some of your callers, but I have a problem because I had a caller like that earlier. When I lay out specifics, they want to dance. They don't want to answer. That's what's wrong with us. If you ask somebody, when they asked Willie Wilson about the migrants, he said no. He said take care of home first. Then you can welcome in some other people. Then you can take care of some other people. Take care of the homeless we got under the bridges first. He was direct and blunt about it. He might be country, but he Southern accent, but he answers the questions with what's in his heart. I see Brandon dancing, and all of his supporters are dancing. That's my problem. Go ahead, Mays. It's your take over.
So let me do this. Let me take the call on the live line. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. We are simulcasting live with State Senator Ricky Hendon at WCPT. Who is that, caller? Tamiko, what's up, sister? How you feeling this morning? President of the What's in It for the Black People. What's going on, sis?
Morning.
Good morning, Mays and Ricky. Hey, listen. So we get caught up on what we like in the charisma. Screw that. Now, after this show, I want you all to talk about the white candidates. And when we ask them what's in it for us, they come to the table with social services. But no economic growth. So we're going to do that too. But black, just because I got a black family, I'm black, that's not good enough. Every other candidate advocates for their self-interest, and that means they're people. And they don't have to apologize for it. And if we don't get that, we're going to remain clueless. We pretty much take the plans that they have for their people, and we automatically include ourselves, even though they haven't said anything about us or our plight, even though some of them may cross over. But no, you just like you specifically, and they specifically talk about their ethnicity. And we don't see that. We always pretty much want to include others or automatically include ourselves in others' plans for their people, and we don't even hear dog whistles. Let's know what they tell us out of their mouth straight up. And if that is not insanity, I don't know what it is. And that's for everyone that's listening. Will I give Brandon a vote? No. Because every conversation, he has never come to the table about our plight specifically. Hell, he don't even talk about social service. He don't even give us a song and a dance about social service. When you talk to us about what we need. So you get why I'm going. No. But that's different kind of social service. The social services they're talking about them is about leading toward economic growth and not keeping us dependent. There is a difference. I'm done.
Thank you, Tamiko. I got to tell you, and Ricky, you probably not going to get to come back on WCPT if you keep listening to the Mays Jackson show, because they're going to call you they're going to figure every type of ism to put on you. But I do think that one of the things that I hope that we get from this is that they recognize that there are challenges, and that white progressives and progressives in and of themselves have taken on a patriarchal approach to black folks, and it's not so much that I just think that they have put on to us the fact that progressives are now calling me racist for advocating for black self-interest, and in the same time they advocate for their own self-interest. There's nothing wrong with that. Politics is a battle for resources. It doesn't have to be. It's in this level of name calling and this political wokeness is creating a space where there's resentment underlying, because we know that we are being talked to and being told about how we can talk. Are there any other calls on the line? Carly on the Mays Jackson show. We are simulcasting live with State Senator Ricky Hendon on WCPT. What's up, caller?
And I'm doing the Jackson show.
James, say, be careful of white people listening. Go ahead.
But you know what? Let me say this before you say something, James. Over here at WCPT, the white folk be listening, but there are some true progressives that listen to this station. And they don't beat me up when I got to do the black thing. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if it's anybody that's really down for us, man.
We might need you here over here at WCPT. Because facts matter over here. And they mean it, Maze. They mean it. And if facts is a black fact, that's a fact. If it's a white fact, it's a fact. A fact is a fact. It doesn't have no race, creed, or color. So go ahead, James. I had to put that in there.
Morning, Mays. Morning, Senator. It just baffles me how us as black people we already know there is fine print to every speech, every law, every motion, every vote. We have to whittle out the bad stuff within those sections and get down to the nitty gritty. My black people keep going to double standard. Either you like James Brown said, either you on the train or you're off the train. Which one is it? Do you want stuff for black people or you don't want stuff for black people? Make up my mind if you can't make up yours.
I'll add to that. You on the train. And we under the train. And here's my problem, Maze. Black people vote for the Democratic Party 95% of the time. 95% of the time. Black turnout in Chicago is now down to 10%. That should concern the Democratic Party. If presidents were elected by the popular vote and not this electoral college stuff, I'm sure the Democratic Party would be like, whoa, wait a minute. Black turnout is now down to 10%. But locally, they really don't care as long as they can maintain power and control. 90% of black folks staying home. 89% of the Latinos stayed home. 80% of white people stayed home and didn't vote in the last election. I like elections. I want people to be involved. That should concern every progressive or anyone who believes in good government or just government, period, throughout this state, Maze. People aren't voting because they're tired of the lies and the subterfuge and the tricky stuff. That's all I'm saying, Maze. Go ahead.
And the big fancy words to get around the actual questions that are being asked. We are watching as the black community is eroding in Chicago. It's clear. All you got to do is look at the math. But what the key to the oppressor's game is to ensure that we are not allowed to talk about it, right? Because then if you talk about it, you can be called racist, xenophobic, even as you watch the population grow. Ricky, we were at a time there was 1.2 million black people in the city of Chicago. We are down to less than 800,000. And for us not to be able to talk about it, for us not to be able to talk about the economics and to talk about political power shifts it's really a trap for black people that really allows other groups to continue to marginalize us. Ricky, there are 16 economic indicators in the city of Chicago. Black people are last in all 16, right? When we look around, we are looking at the erosion of black political power, etc. And at the same time, your listening audience wants to call us racist and xenophobic and homophobic and anti-Semitic, because we can see and we can actually specifically pinpoint who, what, and where is happening to us in our community. I know you got to go to break, so do I. So we're gonna take a quick break. You got to go to break.
Well, you go ahead and go to break. We'll come back to you. We're gonna keep going.
Oh, well then we need to go to break too.
Okay.
I knew you.
My producer, your producer on the same page. See, we can all work together. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
Fight the power.
We'll be back after this break. Kumbaya.
We'll be back after
both
these
of us taking a break, you all. Come on right back. All right.
The Mays Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Elect Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago. Crime is out of control. Parents are frightened for their children. Downtown and our neighborhoods are at risk. Even gas stations are targets. We will fight back to protect our community. Elect Willie Wilson for mayor.
With the longtime 34th Ward turning into the 21st Ward, there's only one clear choice for your next alderman of the 21st Ward, Cornel Dantzler. If you live in the 34th Ward, which is now the 21st Ward, vote for Cornel Dantzler in the upcoming election to represent your ward as alderman.
We will work together as a family and as a team so that we can make the 21st Ward one of the best wards in the city of Chicago. Thank you.
Punch 51 for Cornel Dantzler.
Today, the Biden administration is releasing what it calls a new strategy to fight domestic terrorism. Following a 100-day review, federal officials are now laying out a new plan hoping to deter, detect, and prosecute domestic terror.
They went to the Capitol waving their flags and looking for smoke. He was out there looking for justice. They was over there looking for votes. Ashley Babbitt was with him and told all the people that nothing could stop us. She climbed through the Capitol window, breaching security, and caught a shot, bro. The media say she a veteran. They paint the picture to make her look greater, but she disrespected the same country that she served. That makes her a traitor. They was fighting police, resisting arrest. On God, I couldn't believe it. I guess blue lives only tend to really matter when it's convenient. Hey, these are the times we witness in history, all because they didn't get a victory. United States is so contradictory. We get equal rights, that's a mystery. Politicians, they more like magicians. You know they got tricks up their sleeve. We point out the flaws that's up in this country. You know they gon' tell us to leave. Somebody try to help me understand it. Always seems like a double standard. They be out here leaving us empty-handed. To certain rights we are not granted. The media is the culprit when it comes to the comparison. Cause when it comes to race, they always changing up the narrative. It's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know and we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know and we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know and we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. We still out here trying to get our reparations, but the government pump faking out here hesitating. I'm out here trying to keep my peace, so I keep meditating. The media make us look bad, they taint our reputation. Look, it's so sad that COVID causing toe tags. You claim you so patriotic, but you ain't wearing no mask. You out here wildin' with your MAGA flags and showing your ass. You wanna be part of some type of revolution so bad. Look, you talk revolution and constitutional rights, homie. I guess we forgot about back in the days when all of the business was whites only. Yeah. George Floyd got justice. Juneteenth got much respect. They made it a national holiday. Man, it's all good, but cut the check. They giving out all of these vaccines, putting it in you like caffeine. Was it all in the part of the plan? I bet money like DraftKings. It's land of the free, home of the brave. 1776, we wasn't free till 1865, so we wasn't part of that shit. And that there's terrorism.
You are listening to the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler. In just a minute, we'll be coming back to State Senator Ricky Hendon, where we simulcast. Ricky, are you back?
Playing Confederate attack. Being a wealth of information.
So they're not back yet. So look, y'all, it's the Mays Jackson Show. We could take our. You want to take? We got calls on the line. Let's take the caller. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. What's up? What's going on?
3 African Americans.
Or is that still the Ricky Show? Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. What's up?
Hello. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
What up, Devo? How you feeling, dog? You in the town or you in Boston, the Bean Town?
I'm local this week. Hey, this is a very good conversation, and I just want to circle back to the original questions, because as an undecided voter, when I look for, you know, when we talk about a hero, I look at somebody that when there was times of crisis, they stood up no matter what. They took it upon themselves to leverage their resources and to create an equitable system to ensure that people could get some sort of relief in the middle of a crisis. I'm looking at somebody who, despite their education accomplishments, has transcended that into being a multimillionaire in America, of all places. So when we talk about heroes, bro, that Dr. Willie Wilson, low key, and it ain't even low key. When the residents, and it's not even in Chicago, he came through with the masks, bro. I saw it with my own eyes. Trucks and trucks and trucks. The city wouldn't even take the mask from him. That's terrible leadership from the city. That's not progressive. People were dying. Black people were dying. And the man stood up. His logic is what's important. Listen to the logic. It don't need no fancy words. Our people are dying. Our kids can't read. Logical solutions. Lower taxes. Take care of your citizens first. Bring black people back to the city of Chicago. It's only one person that can articulate that, and that's Dr. Willie Wilson. So I will close and land the plane with this. I find it ironic that Brandon Johnson has not spoken out about urban prep. The urban prep crisis is a crisis. And it's very telling that candidate has not spoken out on urban prep. We need urban prep to function. $100 million to urban prep. I know that Willie Wilson can get that done and turn that school around to produce young black men for the next 10 generations. Let's get it done. That's policy. That's what Chicago needs. I'm out, man. I love y'all, bro. Peace.
Hey, that's our man, Devo Gordine, president of What's in It for the Black People First. Hey,
and then say later, well, what I said, that's what you said at the time. I tell people all the time, what you say, especially now, is recorded. Somebody got it on tape. Somebody got it on video. You can't run from it. So I don't lie, because I ain't got time to try to remember what I said. Let's see if we get Mays back.
What's up, Ricky? We back.
Mays, I'm back. Are you back?
We back, man. You got callers. We want to hear from your callers, man. We want them to come. We want to hear something what they got to say. You know, they probably a little offended with us right now. Are you sure you gonna?
We want to hear
the
from
progressives gonna let you come back, man?
Absolutely. We want to hear from your callers. Matter of fact, I want to hear from Riis. Can I talk to Riis for a second?
You can talk to you want to talk to Riis, DJ. You know Riis. Riis gonna get you in trouble. What's up, DJ Riis the Ruler? What's up, Rick?
But Riis, look, Riis, my man. I know he your guy, but Riis said something the other day, blew my mind. Blew my mind, Riis. You said something like, now, you know I ain't gonna be exactly perfect, but you said something like, I think you were talking about the migrants being in Woodlawn, and I'm a welcoming person, no problem. I got Latinos in my political organization, no problem. But you said something like you was really okay with them going into Woodlawn, and that was Brandon's position, Chewy's position. Everybody on the stage supported being welcoming and whatever, even though they wouldn't, except for Willie Wilson. But my question to you, my friend, is wouldn't it be better for a Latino migrant or immigrant, whatever you want to say, to go into a Latino community? And why aren't any of the Latino aldermen saying, we'll take them? That's all I want to know, Riis. Name me one Latino alderman who said, send the migrants to my ward.
I mean, I can't name you one, but I mean, we're welcome the city. That building presented itself. And it's like, really, you kind of arguing with law, you know, and I know you're a man that understands law. Are we not a welcoming city?
Right.
Are we not
No, I want to be a welcoming city, but we have 50 wards. So here's all I'm saying, and it's an easy, simple question. And I know the answer. So I'm going to give you the answer, then I'll come and bring it back to you. The Latino aldermen have said to the mayor, we don't want them. No, you can't bring them into the 26th ward, the first ward. The progressive Latino aldermen don't want them. So my question was, and I asked this, and because people just won't go straight to the meat of the subject, why don't the Latino aldermen want the migrants in their wards? Can you answer that for me, please?
I mean, I can't. I'm not an alderman, but I just said, because of the way that the law's made, we should.
Okay, all right, May. All right, you still got my man, Riis, but let me say this: if the Latino aldermen don't want their own people, they got to have a reason for it. And why force them then into a black ward where you're causing animosity? Do you know what I'm saying, Mays? I'm trying to get at.
I 100% do. You know what, Ricky? It's like if you watch the Gangs of New York, right? There is a, hold on one second, because you were talking about it. Switch me over, because I want to make sure Ricky's listeners can hear this report from ABC 7 about the migrants
located at 71st Street and Pulaski.
Hold on, Ricky, turn this up. We want to make sure
several hundred migrants being bused to Chicago from Texas.
Yeah, we can hear it.
For just here, it's a building with 4 walls, and that's it. It's a roof over your head. No.
The news comes just weeks after the city of Chicago converted Woodlawn's Wadsworth Elementary School into a shelter over the objections of many in the neighborhood. State Representative Angie Guerrero-Cuellar says the community needs time to fully understand what is happening and to develop an adequate safety plan.
I want to make sure that the residents understand, what the timeline is going to be. Is this going to be a short-term shelter, a permanent shelter, how long they're going to be here?
More than 4,000 migrants have arrived in the Chicago area since the end of August, when Texas began busing them to other cities. Many are being housed in suburban hotels. The state today confirmed they are looking at the Kmart location, saying in part, for those who need more time to determine their future plans and require ongoing interim shelter.
Is this going to be a short-term shelter, a permanent shelter, how long they're going to be here?
More than 4.
Is this going to be a short-term shelter, a permanent shelter, how long they're going to be here?
So I think that there is, Ricky, I just wanted to put some perspective to your conversation, because if you don't, then you'll be called xenophobic, right? And so that was the they want to create a migrant shelter on 71st and Pulaski, which is in a predominantly
in the Latino neighborhood
community. And you see the state representative saying, no, we don't want that to happen in our community. We want to know how long.
The Latino state representative.
But again,
and guess what happened, Mays? They put it on hold. They put it on hold because the Latino elected officials said no. They put it on hold. The black aldermen of the 20th ward and the whole community said no, and they forced it in the black community anyway. Riis, that's what I'm saying. If the Latinos have power to say no, the black community should have the power to say no.
And so the other.
So where they gonna go then, Ricky?
So wait.
Well, they should go to, in my opinion, the $50-60 million should have went to a Latino ward. And these so-called progressives, who are supposed to be welcoming as well, should welcome them into their community. But if they say no, then why would the governor and the rest of them put it on hold? But when the blacks say no, it don't matter. That's all I'm trying to get at, Riis.
And
go ahead, Mays. I'm sorry.
Let me bring this into a space, because again, we got a different listening audience that thinks that we will be xenophobic and we'll be using all of those terms. But what we are finding is that there is a tone deafness. And I do think, like, even when you talk about this, there is now a stigma. Black people died for the right to vote, to be considered full citizens, to be able to get to a place where we could be considered Americans. And now that we are supposedly achieving that, then they are taking the power out of being a citizen. You imagine that now saying that you are a citizen of the United States on your radio station, Ricky, can get you accused of being anti-immigration. Because but we also know that no one is having the same concerns for the Haitian immigrants or the Africans or any of that stuff. Not that that's the issue, but I do think that there is a level of this is part of what comes off as the white, why black folks that I know have a problem with progressives. Let's go to the live line, though. Carly on the Mays Jackson Show. You are talking to State Senator Ricky Hendon on WCPT and me, Mays Jackson, as well. What's up, caller? Where you calling from? What's your thoughts?
And then I have a caller after your call, Mays. Okay.
Shalom.
What up, Jake? Oh, Jake, now you know we got the other people on. Go ahead, but be careful.
Okay, good, because all the people need to hear. Yeah, people should be tap dancing.
We all need to hear. That's right.
Let's go, Jake.
That's right. So, you know what? You know why they ain't putting them there? Because they know it's going to be war. They are not the same. Everybody from South America is not the same. It's gangs in them other areas. They ain't no Latinos, they ain't no Spanish gangs, they ain't this and that. And when they come out, they're going to press them. They know they're going to press them. And, Riis, it ain't law. It's not federal law. They breaking the law. That's why Abbott got them up out of here. You know where they can go? Go back home. That's where they can go. They should have never sent them up there in the first place. And what my man was saying that Willie is he's the biggest winner of the last couple of years because he made so much money going out through the pandemic. You know how much bread he made? For mass, he made so much money. And the last thing, bro, this tells you, and everybody love the Bible, and it's not a Christian book. They love it until they know the truth in it. The reason why ain't no other people who have to go through what we went through. Everything, all our inventors, all our ancestor inventors who got their patents stolen, who got robbed, and don't forget about 400 years of free labor. So it is not like we was here and you know what I'm saying, we were free and this. No. They owned us. That's why we carry their last name. I don't care who get mad about it. It's just a fact. And we are the people with the book that said that we would come over here and they afflict us, and they still doing it. And the reason why I live in Chicago, who want to have their kids around some kids like that? They got to go to school. They make them go gangbang. They make them go to that. Who want to go through that? They their children. And you can put, I don't care, like I told Till, you could put $1 trillion school on the southwest side. The kids got to get there. You know what I mean? So it's right. But till we come together, and we wouldn't do that to each other. We know that we was the creator, chosen people. But the black people, I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all got to deal with it.
Let me join in real quick. They wanted to build a school for Latino children when I was senator, and Marty Sandoval was carrying the bill. It was $60 million. And me and Marty was friends. And I said, Marty, I will support you, but I want a high school for the black kids. Because like you say, everybody can't go across certain streets and whatever. Marty said, okay, Senator, I will support I think mine was $40 million. His was $60 million. Yes, he got a little bit more than I got, but I got the $40 million. He got the $60 million. That's how we supposed to work together. You know what I'm saying? But he got criticism because he said some blacks could be enrolled in his school. And I got criticism because somebody said, well, you only got 40 million and he got 60 million. Listen, if we can work together, let's work together. I'm not against Latinos or nobody else, but don't leave me out. And you never hear Chuy Garcia saying, pushing reparations. Name me his reparations bill in Congress. It doesn't exist.
Hold on, but look.
We were kidnapped and brought over here.
You talk about
I'm saying we were kidnapped and brought over here like your caller is saying. The other people, they coming over here on their own free will. We were kidnapped. Put on ships, died on ships, kidnapped. It's a difference.
You don't, as according to some of our progressive friends, though, they told us that that we don't have a birthright here in the black folks. I just think, Ricky, you gotta recognize that there is this state of wokeness, this state of progressiveness has put us in a place where we cannot tell the truth And when we can't tell the truth, that hurts us more than anybody else because they get to rewrite the story. So when you hear that BS that we're all immigrants, we all are immigrants. No, we all wasn't no damn immigrants. That's not our story. That's not our narrative. We were kidnapped. We were labor. The white folks that listen to your show probably don't know that they great-great-grandparents, when they go to Lehman Brothers and all of those things, those companies were built off of trading slaves like property, literally. The Wall Street.
You must have didn't hear the last commercial. Maze, we just read. They just ran a commercial. I didn't even know it was going to run. Talking about Smalls, who took over the ship from the Confederates to free the blacks from. So this station, just because it's progressive, they still deal with the truth. You know, it's like facts matter. But when they supported Preckwinkle, I didn't. They didn't shut me down. They say, hey,
well, that's not what happens at the black stations. That's not what happened at the black stations.
I know. That's the point I'm trying to make. Wait. That was the point I'm trying to make. Is some of the black stations and some of the black people are worse on people like you and me than the white people. I know some black people can't stand me and can't stand you. Because of what? Because we stand up for our own people? That don't mean we don't like other people. But, Maze, the white stations are some of the ones that allow this kind of conversation. And we won't name the station that let you go because they were trying to tell you what you can and cannot say. And I got a problem with that.
I agree. Take your caller. I know you got a call on the line, so we want to hit, not ours. Let's take Ricky's call. Caller, you go ahead, Ricky.
Now, let's take your call because my call is still being checked in.
Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. Tyrone Muhammad, what's up, doctor? Happy belated day after your birthday. Now, you can't take the whole 10 minutes.
Happy birthday to you.
Tyler, I got double shows. Yo.
Wait, Maze, every time Tyrone call me, he say, what's up, old man? Well, you the old man now.
Hey, man, you know, I think people are old in their thoughts, and that's why I hear a lot of when I hear these politicians and people talk about our black history. For one, you got black kids out here. I don't hear nobody ever talk about who we deal with every day in the ground, man, on homeless in these communities, living in abandoned buildings, bro. And everybody's walking up on them, and that's why I went to jail for that doggone migrant house. No politician. I'm not impressed, hey, Ricky. I got to say, you know how I feel. I'm not impressed with Dr. Wilson giving out no gas. Show me how you can get ready, man, set up some housing, man, so we can get some of these babies off the street. Since you're going to throw some money in the air, let's go get that. See, I ain't and I got a problem with all of them, and my constituents are returning citizens and at-risk youth that will become. I just don't understand it, man. That all our politicians, everyone in the race is not qualified. And when I say that to really represent us, everyone, from ballots to everybody in there, that's why I said that and say that because, Maze, we get caught up in what the white folks is listening to. And I don't give a damn about what no white folks think about us. They done showed us already how they feel about us. Look at our community versus their community. We keep trying to pontificate and tap dance for white votes. I don't care what nobody say. Yesterday, I watched at least 20 officers. That means 2 or 3 cars apiece with Latino police and white police, no black cops, pulling over young black men, man, taking them down, putting them up against the car, only to release them, man. Only to release them. Because
embarrass them, harass them.
This is why I mean you can't chase them down like rabbits, man. Because if you take the handcuffs off some of these clowns, bro, we'll be dead out here.
Now let me jump in, Tyrone. Let me jump in, Tyrone. I agree with you. Let me just say this real quick. I agree with you on 90% of it. 90%. And when me and Tyrone, and I made this statement with me and Maze, when me and Tyrone disagree, we don't fall out. We just disagree. Then we find where we can work together. You're right. We got to do something for these children. We got to save them. We got to give them the counseling. We need people like Tyrone Muhammad who can go out there and talk to these kids and give them what Willie did say, open some trade schools for them. He didn't just say lock them up. There has to be a component, and I want your opinion on this, Maze, where we help these children get away from the road that they're going down, which is the road of destruction. What do you think about that,
Let me finish.
Oh, go ahead, Tyrone. I'm sorry.
Listen, man. Look how we had issues. I've said and done stuff worse to you than I've ever done to Willie Wilson or Mays Jackson, and because we all passionate about what it is we standing for. Mays has offered to sit down with Willie. I already know who you are. If Willie gets there, all right, what's up, man? This is what the issue is for our community, Ricky, and you go bring it to the table. But I'm not accepting that from an old man who claiming.
Don't accept it from a young one either.
No.
Tyrone, let me just say this. Let me say this real quick, Tyrone, because we got 2 minutes. One of my best friends got carjacked last week. 13, 14, 15-year-olds put guns to his wife's head and guns to his kid's head. Now, I'm saying we got to try to save these kids. My man could have called the police and had them locked up, or dealt with it the street way. But instead, they went over there and talked to the parents. So I agree with you. We gotta have another solution.
Let me show you this point. Let me show you this point.
Hold on. Look, I got literally 2 minutes to close this out, and we are moving on. Ty, I appreciate you. This ain't the
I'm only just saying. No, I want to just finish this little
we
point.
Out of town. We out of time.
Y'all have made an olive branch for my man.
All right, we'll work on that.
And all right,
we gotta let Tyrone go. I gotta let you go. So Tyrone has some good points and some bad points. We'll work it out. Mays, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you. You got any closing statement for me?
You know what? Hey, Ricky, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Shout out to the WCPT audience who was tuned in and learned a lot. Shout out to everybody from WBGX 1570. And we got to keep doing this, Ricky, because I do think these cross platforms really bring up a lot.
And I want to say shout out to 1570. Every time you come on, Mays, it's always a great show. That's what WCPT is about, great shows. And yes, let's do this collab again. And let's do it when we have more time, because we just don't have enough time when it's Ricky Hendon and Mays Jackson. Love you, bro. Thank you, Santita, for letting me sit in for you. WCPT for letting me sit in for you. Mays is still on, y'all. So Mays Jackson show, you can go to Mays Jackson page.
Facebook,
this is my
YouTube,
man.
Twitter,
we don't always agree, but we know we all got to work together regardless of race, creed, and color. And don't be mad at us if we start with black, because we got some problems, y'all. Thank you, Mays.
What's in it for the black people? We'll be back after these messages. Look, now, hold on, Riis. We can hold on a second. Now, look, y'all. Please respect the fact that we got a timeline. Help me out, family. It's like I try to give everybody, I really don't cut people off. But if I ask you to chill, then don't make me ask you to chill. Right? It's like I understand we have these same arguments in person and reality, etc. But sometimes y'all need y'all to respect the clock, because we not on the same Mays Jackson program, right? And I would like to get other people's opportunity in as well. Riis, who's on the live line? Call you on the Mays Jackson show.
Good morning. This is Andre Smith.
What up, Dre? How you feeling, man? You out there? See, man, that's go. What's up, Dre? How you feeling, man? Happy day after your fundraiser. Y'all make sure y'all support Andre Smith. He is running in the 20th ward. He been out there on the front lines of this immigration fight since it started, and is representing the interests of the people in Woodlawn. What's up, Dre? How you feeling this morning, man?
Well, I'm doing wonderful, brother. And I want to thank all my Wichita people that, came out and support, as they always on the front line of history. Since, we were talking about the Wadsworth issue, I really would have loved for Senator Hendon to be on the phone. Not that we would have had any disagreement, but we will have one disagreement in regards to the alderman over here in the 20th ward. She's talking double-sided. She's putting out in the media one that she didn't know about it when she knew about it, and she's saying no. Well, that's not the case, because I'm just clearing up something that Ricky said. I live here. I do what you do, what Ricky do. I have interest here, so I go to the root to find out the real cause, what's going on. And she sent out a letter When I was in front of that bus, the first time getting ready to go to jail, she had people in the building welcoming the migrants, welcoming them. She had a welcome party for them. Then she sent a letter out to the residents of Woodlawn and the residents of Washington Park saying, welcome the migrants. You know, so you can't talk double language, you know, and if Brandon is saying one thing and she's tied to Brandon because of CTU, what do you think she's saying? Now, at Corey Brooks' Forum and an Operation Push Forum at Corey Brooks Church, New Beginnings, I asked that question to all of the candidates. Yes, Brandon said what y'all said he said. And what was shocking to me, but what wasn't really shocking to me, is what Chewy said. Chewy is 1,000% for his people. I don't knock him for it, you know, but I don't support it, you know. And I don't understand why people are not seeing it or talking about it, you know. I mean, when he said what he said in regards to first, they're not illegal immigrants. Yes, they are. They're breaking the law. Maybe they're not breaking the city, state, and county law because of sanctuary city, but the federal government don't recognize sanctuary city. Just like there's a proper way, according to the United States Constitution and the federal government, are entering the United States to make sure every citizen is safe. And so they passed the marijuana law in the city, state, and the county, but it's not recognized with the federal government. So you can come up with all kind of ordinances that you want to, but it's not recognized in the federal government. So you're breaking the law. So I just wanted to state that, you know, my thing is, yes, I'm going to continue being on the front line. I'm going to continue fighting. We got 3 candidates in the 20th ward. The alderman, who is in support of the migrants, want us to become a welcoming community, which we're not. And then we have the other candidate that's trying to get a contract to teach the immigrants to know your rights. You got to know what's going on. Our job is to do intel. Our job is to find out the facts and the truth. And one thing about the facts and the truth is, if you find a person to be a lie, they're going to be a liar. And you'll never have a relationship. You'll never trust them. So I'm not going to say something over the airway that's not facts because my name and my character is on the line. So people that get paid or special interest or whatever, they're going to promote and push things because that's what they get paid for. But the only thing that matters to us as black people is the truth.
That is Andre Smith, candidate for 20th Ward Alderman. Look, y'all, anybody else on the line? Let's take this last call, and then we are going to move on to the next subject. Call us, the Mays Jackson Show. What's up? How you feeling today?
Hi, this is Katie. How are you?
Katie! You got your hair did?
Yeah, I did.
I knew you did. I know you be getting fancy.
I live over here, not too far from 71st and Pulaski, and it's a very it's over here by the hotels, new hotels by the airport. So it's a growing, vibrant community. So I am surprised that they don't want them at the place over there so that they could be integrated and get jobs and everything. So that's very telling versus where they want to put the immigrants, illegal immigrants over in Woodlawn. And my thoughts is about this subject. Is we are since the civil rights days, we were supposed to be a progressive community and see who moved up and see who stayed in the place. I mean, we still behind in all the indicators. We are still behind, and since the civil rights days, I mean, we were supposed to be progressive for everybody during the civil rights days. So this new progressive. I mean, you know, it doesn't mean anything to me because we're still supposed to be progressive. So, so it seems like the people that are on top want to stay on top, and they want to keep the people on bottom. So, you know, we just got to be very vigilant in knowing what is actually happening out here, and support our people. I mean, our people still including a lot of the black high schools and everything. How are they progressing? Are they into the STEM classes so that they could have be ready for jobs and everything? We are not. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on, and we're talking about all this progressive stuff. We were supposed to be progressive since the Civil Rights Day and see who is still on the bottom. We're still on the bottom. And that's what I have to say today. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Katie. That is Katie from Ashburn. Look, y'all, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, I do want to play a clip for you from the Operation Push Forum where Andre asked the question about the migrants. But we'll do that after we come back from this break. Look, y'all, this is the Mays Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? We'll be back after these messages.
The Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
We can count on Paul Vallis. When Paul Vallis was CEO of Chicago Public Schools, he revitalized our neighborhood schools. No one delivered more for our underserved young people than Paul Vallis. As mayor, Paul Vallis will ensure that communities long neglected get a fair share of city investment, attracting the grocery stores we need, improving sanitation, and other city services in our neighborhoods. Vote Paul Vallis, a mayor for all of us. Paid for by Vallis for Mayor.
Over 25 years ago, Patrick Brutus decided that serving the public was the best way to help his community. And since then, he has been a dependable and trustworthy friend to all. Now, by fighting for safe and walkable streets, new businesses, and retail corridors, Patrick Brutus has the right vision and the most experience to lead the 6th Ward. On Election Day, punch 53 for Patrick Brutus, because he's our choice for alderman of the 6th Ward.
Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Mays Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding. So go on, make my payments high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Look, Hey, check it out. First drug lord was President Nixon. Oval Office was the trap house where he was tipping. Got the drugs from Nicaragua and gave us crack. Declared war on blacks. Man, tell him to cut the check and tried to make it seem like a revolution. CIA was the corner boys for distribution. We could tear this country in half for retribution. But I'd rather get some restitution, so tell him to cut the check. John Singleton, man, he already told y'all. He broke it down for you when he made Snowfall. They locked us all up and created whole laws. So send a message like a cold call. Tell them to cut the check. Look, we built this city. We built this city. Put this country together and gave him hella aid. Lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Over 400 years. Been punching the clock, but yeah, we still ain't got paid. Look, they paying the immigrants. They paid the Jews. Executive orders, man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Look, for sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Japanese internment. Come on. Was all paid out from the government. We waiting on our turn, we definitely earned it. So make my payment high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no stimulus check, just run the bread, make it high. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Mays Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mace said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis to roll on the ones and twos. We were just talking. Well, I had a good time. I enjoy doing them cross collabos with Ricky Hendon. It's kind of hard, because Ricky, but we understand. Like, we want to build relationships. We want to do some cross collaboration, expose ourselves to some new audiences. Maybe we can get some people to come check us out. But regardless, I got some stuff I want to talk about. But I do want to. So I started this with, is black enough? Is look at me, I'm black enough? Mayor Lightfoot tried it with me, and I wasn't prepared. And I feel like I've been in this situation, and what I have come to recognize is that that's a diversionary tactic. The diversionary tactic, which allows you to 100% say the connotation. It's like rabbits, right? It's like when your mind goes to, if I look at you, I have to assume that you're talking about, because you're black, I have to assume that you're included. But I don't necessarily agree, because if you look at Clarence Thomas, he's black. If Clarence Thomas said, look at me, right? Y'all would be, look at Richard Irvin. Look at how Richard Irvin was like, he had slaves in his commercial and everything, right? So I just think we've got to, again, Riis, if you're a Democrat, you can say, look at me, am I not black? Why cannot Richard Irvin? Why cannot Clarence Thomas say that? And so what I want y'all to understand is, in the 48 Laws of Power, there is this thing that says, pose as a friend, act like an enemy. Operate as a spy, Pose as a friend, operate as a spy. Some of our black people have their ideology above their race. Both ways, though, right? Like, Richard Irvin probably has ideology over race because he's like, race is a construct that holds me back. I think one of the things that I think we have to stop doing is stop bowing to the pressure of politically awkward situations. The Mayoral Candidate Forum, the People's Forum by Operation Push and Project Hood happened on Saturday. There was an interesting moment, and I'm going to play it. Riis, you got the audio from the computer? I want to do the computer audio this go round, because I want you to hear the difference in the responses, all right? I want you to hear and see, because we cannot...
Coming from a member of Project Hood, Andre Smith, and you can answer these questions fully with the full answer.
Okay. Actually, Chicago Against Violence. Okay, that's what we were given. So, but thank you. Please, your question.
My name is Andre Smith, and I just spent 24 hours in a tent across the street from Wadsworth, representing our homeless in the unfair process of the illegals at Wadsworth. If you become mayor, will you ensure the Chicagoans that you will make sure that our homeless population get the same access, if not better, than the illegals that got $75 million at Wadsworth?
Thank you. We'll start with Representative Buckner.
What's going on, Andre? Listen, I think being a welcoming city means that we're welcoming to the folks who are here, and that we're welcoming to people who want to come here. So I think that we have to have resources, and we shouldn't create resource fights, but that means the city has to do what it's supposed to do for the people who are here, for sure.
So what is it that the city is supposed to do for the people that are here? Who articulates the plan?
Sure.
Thank you.
Andre, I hear your frustration. First of all, I believe that most of those folks who are there are asylees. They entered the country with permission till their asylum cases are heard. 1. 2, we have to overcome all of the years of disinvestment and structural racism in Chicago to make life good for all the people across Chicago. Lastly, I stood with Harold Washington when he declared Chicago the first sanctuary city in America. And let us not forget that Chicago was founded by a black immigrant from Haiti who was married to an indigenous woman. That is our legacy as proud Chicagoans. We can do both. We can take care of people who have been discriminated, and we can welcome people who are fleeing violence and other terrible things as well.
Thank you. Jamal Green.
Well, let me say, I think it's utterly disgusting that 10 years ago, 50 schools were shut down. Schools have been laying vacant in these neighborhoods for years. Community members have come together to say, we want affordable housing, or we want a community center, or we want something in our neighborhood that can bring resources back to our communities. And to no avail all of these years. And then now, without engagement from the community, they seek to put folks, migrants in there without community engagement. I think it's utterly disgusting. These neighborhoods deserve better, and the people in these neighborhoods deserve better. We have to welcome the people in these neighborhoods and our young people and make sure that they have investment in safe spaces. We got 20,000 homeless youth out of that 65,000, and we got to do better as a city of Chicago to invest in these neighborhoods and invest in people, and we will do that under our administration.
Thank you.
Pay attention.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yeah, so, you know, my older brother Leon, who is, still my hero, he passed away. He had untreated trauma, Andre, and I've shared this story with you before, and he died addicted and unhoused. You know, the type of economic structure that exists in this country has left many of our families behind, particularly black families. We can do both. You know, I think about the route. My family was a part of the second migration, 57 North. Delia Ramirez, whose mother came up to deliver Delia Ramirez at Cook County Hospital, the same Cook County Hospital that provided me support at the Fantas Clinic. I think to your point, the fact that our communities constantly get pit against one another, that is by design, and it's the definition of white supremacy, because Republican right-wing governors are using families as a political football. Under my administration, we have to do both. I've done it as a teacher, I've done it as an organizer, I've done it as a Cook County commissioner. We can take care of the people who have been here and still be a welcoming city for other families who are seeking refuge. We
I want to see the written plan, just like there was a written plan for the other people.
can do it.
Thank you. Alderwoman King?
Sure, it's not about, whether we're welcoming or not. We have to be welcoming. It's about the process. And it's about the tension between people who have been here, lived here, and haven't felt that welcoming city. And so we have to do that. We welcomed homeless into our community, into the 4th Ward. We were one of the first during the COVID to do that. We're also one of the first to welcome migrants. But with all due respect, Congressman, welcoming also means welcoming those Haitian immigrants into the country as well that we blocked from coming. And so it's all about equity, parity, true equity and parity, and not just invoking people's names when you're trying to pander to black votes. So I would continue to do that.
Thank you. Alderman Sawyer?
Yes, Brother Andre, I share your pain. I understand the ostracizing that's happening right now in this community. We obviously want to make sure that we welcome those that are experiencing some distress. We want to make sure that, but we're experiencing distress here right in our own neighborhoods. And we don't think that people don't feel that they're getting that same kind of love that the other individuals are getting. So I understand that. You will get that love from me. We want to make sure that we provide that assistance to everyone, whether they're born here, live here, or had due circumstances get here. We want to make sure that we're a true welcoming city, and a true welcoming city welcomes those that are already here as well as those that are coming. So I share it, brother.
Thank you. Paul Vallis?
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, I'm not going to second-guess Alderman, or I should say Representative Garcia's commitment to being a welcoming city. I mean, at the end of the day, when we were in the Chicago Public Schools, we were a welcoming school district, and I know he was part of that effort to welcome people in. And we had the Bosnian war migration of individuals, and people were brought into the system through, there's a process of doing that. But let's remember that we have 77 communities that can be welcoming. And Andre, make sure that when they give up that building, they're only supposed to be there 2 years, right? Make sure when that building totally remodeled, when they're out in 2 years, that the community gets to do what they want to do with that building. You finally got a building renovated, right? That vacant school was renovated. Take advantage of that. But let me tell you, we need to be a welcoming city for returning citizens. And we are not. And we are not. Individuals that are being released from incarceration, and they don't have housing, they don't have adult ed, occupational training, job opportunities, they don't have opportunities to work or to get city jobs. So at the end of the day, we've got to be welcoming to our returning citizens too.
Thank you.
It was just interesting. Right? Like, I don't know that the parallel of I-57 North, our people escaping white Southern apartheid, Jim Crow, is the same as Delia Ramirez's mom coming here to have her baby safely in Cook County. Those parallels concern me. Ideology or race first? We have to, I'm not against anybody, but if your ideology tells you that there is the same thing between black people escaping Jim Crow South and you know how I ask about black first? And I recognize that people have to be candidates for the whole city. That's an Operation Push, though. Right? Like, I'm not saying that, and I'm saying that, you customize your answer to your audience. That's a black audience. Maybe Chewy does that. I don't know that the struggle of black folks escaping Jim Crow South is the same as immigrants coming to Illinois to have a better life. It's sort of like we're all migrants. We were all immigrants, if you think about it. That's why I think we have to get beyond just asking you. We have to now not, I personally can no longer fall for, look at me. Am I not black? I have to. It's just like the mayor saying to me, sir, I am offended that you said more lesbian than black.
Litigated in federal court. The federal judge put in place an order. There's allegations that she has violated that. A federal judge put rules in place. It's for that judge to determine whether or not that was appropriate. I'm not going to sit here and second guess a federal judge or how the information related to that matter was handled. That's for that judge who I know and is very competent and I'm sure will be fair in assessing.
Oh my God, this cannot be right. How is this legal?
Because the COPA has not yet made a decision in 22 months on this.
I just, look, we got to fess up and we got to clean it up.
You have the wrong place. You got the wrong house. You got the wrong house.
We will and we must continue to say her name.
I just think that we see different things depending on our ideology and our philosophy. We're freezing a little bit, so let's do this, Riis. Let's get some music on, and then when we come back, I want to talk. I'm going to Springfield today, and I want to talk about the mayor's race from a different perspective. Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. May said, we out of here. Peace.
My name is Chris Levy, and I'm working hard to become your next 5th Ward Alderman. As a lifelong Chicagoan, I chose the historic 5th Ward as my home and a place to raise my family. This means I have a vested interest in our safety and prosperity. But we need a change, and I'm the best candidate for the job. I'm not a career politician, but a motivated citizen who cares and will do whatever it takes to restore our community to greatness. My name is Chris Levy, and I want to drive change. Please punch 60 and vote for me for 5th Ward Alderman. My name is Chris Levy, and I approve this message.
Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't want to work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't want to work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Wake up in the morning with the frown on my face, 'cause I know it's another day that I gotta face now. For people I don't want to see, working at a job that I don't want to be, breaking my back to the bone with nothing to show. But I got dreams and goals, but as soon as I clock in, I'm ready to go. So there's one thing I gotta know. Why money ain't free? Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? Give it to me. I don't want to work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it? Why can't you just give it? I don't want to work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free?
Rocking in that 9 to 5, got your girl hella tired. Why won't they let me be? Now I understand why my mama always used to ask, did I think money grew on trees? I got these bills after bills and they just keep coming. Working overtime, but my pockets ain't flooding. Yeah, my funds low. Adult life is ghetto.
Why money ain't free?
Why it ain't free?
Why can't you just give it
Why
to me?
can't they just give it to
I
me?
don't want to work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me.
Why money ain't free? Yeah.
Why can't you just give it to me?
kids bothering me. They seem to think that money grows on trees, always asking for allowance and clean one thing. I'm sick and tired of my funds being low. Spent the whole bag on the groceries at the store. Got a little something, but I need a little more. And I'm a single mama, you should already know.
Why money ain't free?
Why the money ain't free?
Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it
Won't
to
you
me?
give it to me?
I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free?
Why the money ain't free?
Why money ain't free?
Why money ain't free? Yeah, why money ain't
Steve Stanton.
I've never been lucky at love, no never. I've never been good at holding on. A heart broken so many pieces, but I'll just keep on moving on because I'll never give up on love, no never. And I'll never give up on trust, whatever come what may. All that I wanna say, that true love's gonna come my way. Alright, I'm looking for a lover for me. Could you be the one for me? Yeah, alright. Just looking for forever for me. For me. See, I never ever thought that I could love again. I never ever thought that I could ever win. But don't ever give up, no, and don't ever give in. See, I pray that true love finds me in the end. I'll never give up on love. I will never. And I'll never give up on trust. I will never. Looking for a lover for me. See, I'm looking for a lover for me, yeah. And it's alright. Looking for forever. I'm looking for forever. For me.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis, the ruler, on the ones and twos. And Riis, we are about to jump on the road today. I wanna. It's gonna be, that ride to Springfield is 3 hours. I know, man. I know. They didn't get us the Sprinter van, but I'm shouting. We're going to have a good time. We're going to get down there. We're going to soiree. We're going to get us some food, and we're going to be on the road back. Shout out to State Representative Lakeisha Collins, who invited us down. I think we're going to try and check out Cyril Nichols. Maybe we'll see Willie Preston and a bunch of other people, because it is Springfield Soiree Day. It is the night that the Black Caucus does their thing. They celebrate, they recognize, and they provide honor and recognition. Shout out to Blake Turner. See if we can get Senator Doris Turner to come. We're going to see if we got some friends down there. Hopefully they'll like us. Somebody can bring us a meal or something. But anyway, we need a place to change our clothes, though, because I ain't riding all the way down there in no suit. So somebody, and I don't want 50 of us in the bathroom trying to change, jumping up and down, you know what I'm saying? But we going to figure that out. Blake, maybe you can help out with that, too. Y'all can get us a place we can change our clothes and be ready, because, we don't ride down there. But so I had a bunch of stuff I was going to talk about today, but I forgot I had Senator Hendon. But I don't know if you all have seen. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this, and I do not mean to offend any black elected official when I have this conversation. Does that mean, Riis, I'm going to offend somebody because I'm saying?
Yeah, usually when you say that, it's some offensiveness a little bit.
So I really mean no offense. I genuinely mean no offense. But I was reading the stories today, and there was a bunch of stories in the paper about super PACs and money and all of that stuff. And so there was 3 super PACs, right? There was the super PAC called New Leadership Chicago. That was for Chuy Garcia. They spent about $200,000 in independent expenditure money. Did I ever talk to y'all about what an independent expenditure was and dark money and all of that good stuff? Well, dark money is money that is contributed to a political action committee that does not require its donors to reveal their names. Like if you go to Illinois State Board of Education and you put anybody's name in, you can see who they donated to, what their history of donations was, etc. Right? Well, a lot of times when you're rich, you got a lot of interest that you don't want people to know. And in politics, people can be spiteful. So you want to donate money, but you don't necessarily want people to know it. You create what are called super PACs, better known as dark money, right? Riis. There's 3 PACs. There's the 77 committee, which I told you about. It had about $150,000. That's the mayor's super PAC, and it is really comprised of black people who are trying to get close or stay close to the mayor. They raised about $177,000, of which they're spending to attack Brandon Johnson, right? Then there's 2 rich white guy PACs. There is the New Leadership for Chicago PAC, which is for Chuy Garcia. They've already spent about $200 and something thousand for Chuy Garcia on digital ads. And then there's the Chicago Leadership Committee, which is tied to Paul Vallis, right? So what I saw there was, first of all, the white boys are playing right now for the box out. You know what am I getting in trouble for the white boys? Okay. The box out. So the white guys, both in New Leadership for Chicago and Chicago Leadership Committee, which are 2 PACs, are working now to box Mayor Lightfoot out of the runoff. Okay? So let me help y'all understand where we sit in this race right now. The mayor, who was outspending herself, remember last year she had raised $3 million. She had raised $2 million and spent $3 million. So she was already running in the debt. She's been collecting money to stay on TV, but Riis, I've noticed a drastic reduction in the number of TV commercials that we've seen from Mayor Lightfoot. Now, my assumption is she's going to kick back in today because this is what starts the new Media Week schedule. And my assumption is that if she's got money now, she's got to push it all onto the board, onto TV. But here's the problem, Riis. The problem for Mayor Lightfoot now is she's fighting a 3-pronged battle. I think she's given up on attacking Paul Vallis because Paul Vallis, in my estimation now, is the clear front runner. Okay? Like, he has solidified himself. All the things that they've thrown at him seem to have not worked. And Paul Vallis has secured himself, in my estimation, as the 1 spot. I think right now what you see is Chuy Garcia, Brandon Johnson, and Mayor Lightfoot and Willie Wilson, all 4 of them fighting for the 2nd spot. You know this because Mayor Lightfoot has now got 3 people. So now Mayor Lightfoot has a commercial out that attacks Chuy Garcia and Brandon Johnson. Now, it's a 30-second commercial, Riis, which means that if she's got to be fighting 2 candidates with Willie Wilson also on her heels, the fight for the mayor is now she's battling. She's trying to make it to the runoff, but that 30-second spot that she has, she's dedicating 20 seconds of it against other people trying to hold them down while still trying to tell her story. So you don't see the, hey, Mayor Lightfoot, you know, the haters commercial standing alone. She's got to have this commercial that has Chuy Garcia that has Brandon Johnson, and then she has to leave Willie Wilson alone because if she puts 3 people in the spot, Riis, there's no time to talk about her. So right now, the mayor is engaged in a 3-way battle to get into the runoff where she is trying to hold back Willie Wilson, hold back Brandon Johnson, while at the same time fighting Chuy Garcia, who has now become the candidate of the white Daily era people. He's no longer the progressive. He is now the other white. He is trying to be the candidate of white people of the traditional establishment. Mayor Lightfoot is fighting for her life against Riis, 3 other candidates. So what they essentially wanted to happen is now happening. Lightfoot, Johnson, and Wilson are in a 3-way battle trying to pull each other down to get into the runoff. Riis, it does not look very good for Mayor Lightfoot if she is spending all of her money. And then she got the 77 committee to spend 100 and something thousand against Brandon Johnson, which means that she's really, Riis, right now, I still got to say the 1 and 2 are Paul Vallis and Chuy Garcia. Right? The mayor is in a 3-way fight.
I think Chuy's second.
I think Chuy's second. I think Paul Vallis is clearing away right now in all of the polls, moving to the front. Right? Because he's got a consolidated base. It ain't no other white boys in the race. Right? So if you start with him getting 50% of the white vote alone, that puts him in a space. Chuy Garcia assumed that he could play the role of both the white and the progressive candidate. I think Brandon Johnson has mollywopped him in the space of progressives. Like, I don't think that Chuy Garcia is getting any more progressives. He has, in my estimation, proven himself to not be a legitimate progressive. He's like an old school progressive from the 80s, not a old school progressive. He's like, I was with Harold Washington. Well, all the Harold Washington people are establishment people now. And so in the space where when he had no competition, I believe that Brandon Johnson has exposed him, and he has broken back down to the old racial lines. So what you see is where Chuy Garcia was a universal, in the last election, perceived as the universal Latino kingmaker, right, and progressive, this election has shown that he really has broken down to be the candidate of the Hispanics, Latinos on the southwest side. He is that coalition between Madigan and the southwest side, Irish and all of that. He is now part of that clique. He is no longer considered the progressive clique. And so now the old school Daily, old school, old money people who bet on Chuy being their progressive is now seeing him getting his lunch taken by. He got to be a double agent for all intents and purposes, if that makes sense. Now he is exposed as really, like when you saw what Ortiz did, you see that they really, and when they went, not me, forget me, how they went against the north side Latinos, the progressives, right? Because they boiled back down. Remember the Mexican component, I'm not calling them the Mexicans, but the Mexican component of the progressive movement really provided a shelter for Chuy Garcia to build his Latino movement. They were fighting for control of the Latino area. They were not playing on the northwest side. That used to be Luis Gutierrez's area. Luis Gutierrez steps out thinking that he would be able to put people in place, but then emerges this Brandon Johnson who has now gotten the progressive space. But what is happening now is Mayor Lori Lightfoot she's fighting a 3-way battle between Willie Wilson, Brandon Johnson, and Chuy Garcia trying to get to the second spot. Riis. She got to cover her front, her back, and her side. Meanwhile, Chuy Garcia, everybody gets to take a dump on the mayor with all of their money. Which gets me to the point of money. Riis, Willie Wilson still got more money than all the candidates, self-funded himself, put $5 million in. Lori Lightfoot has the benefit of incumbency as well as being the mayor, and she has contracts that she can leverage into opportunities. And Brandon Johnson, Riis, is being funded by CTU, SEIU, and black labor unions. But then it got me to asking the questions about Cam Buckner, Rod Sawyer, and Sophia King. Now let me also remind you all that Paul Vallis and Chuy Garcia also have very large political action committees, independent expenditures, dark money coming in on their behalf. And so Riis, a person like myself, says to myself, self, how does a state representative and 2 aldermen find themselves without the ability to raise over $500,000? And I'm just using $500,000 as a low number. Riis, Cam Buckner, in my estimation, is impressive in the debates. As is, who I would tell you performs excellent in the debates and, in my estimation, has the best grasp of city government, is Alderman Rod Sawyer. And I got to tell you that Alderman Sophia King, who represents one of the most financially sound wards on the South Side, all of them, Riis, have raised less than $200,000. Okay? And I'm going to point to a couple things that I hope does not make people get offended. But Riis, Alderperson Sawyer, Alderperson King, and State Representative Cam Buckner have participated in making white people wealthy. Okay? But those same white people have not contributed to your campaigns. You see, Riis, this is where I tell you that our infrastructure is broken. Our infrastructure is broken because we participate in the wealth creation for everybody. Whether you talk about the multi-million-dollar Michael Riis development, whether you talk about sports betting or gaming or cannabis, whether you talk about the votes that they take in city council that create wealth for people. Riis, all of our candidates, the black candidates, probably somewhere in their mind believed that they've helped enough people that when they ran, someone would step up for them. But guess what, Riis? Guess what they learned? White people gone white
all day long.
So let me speak on this. How many black cannabis millionaires have been made to this point?
None I heard of.
Correct. How many black sports betting millionaires have been made to this point?
None I heard.
How many multi-millionaire developers, professional services, law firms have been made since they've been elected? So then, Riis, what you have to recognize, and this is where we fail. And you've talked about it. We've talked about it. You can do good, just not better than me. And so what essentially happens is, and I'm going to tell you, we're going to be down in Springfield today, right? And we're going to be able to watch as multimillionaires come kiss the rings of a lot of black legislators. Like, we're going to see a lot of sirs and ma'ams and ha-ha-has and he-he-he's but what no one will do, and this is where I have a problem, Riis. Do you know that the VGT industry makes $300 million a month? Do you know that that is regulated at the state? And do you know that it took the Black Caucus to help them get that? And now internet gaming is about to emerge. Internet casinos, which would essentially take a big portion of that business from the VGTs. And guess what they're going to ask to happen, Riis? They're going to ask the Black Caucus. We went down? Oh. They're going to ask the Black Caucus to defend their ability to continue to create wealth. Right? They're going to disconnect. They're going to, compartmentalize Springfield and all of the help that you have given to make these new industries. They're going to compartmentalize that. And essentially what winds up happening is, for Alderman Sawyer, for Alderperson Sawyer, for Alderperson King, did you vote for the casino? Did you vote for cannabis dispensaries to open? You did. Well, let me not say you did. Did you vote for Lincoln Yards? See, the reality is we create white people's wealth. We make deposits in their banks. We vote for their issues. We vote for things that are not necessary. When you can't speak on your own self-interest. So if you can't speak up for black people, then you finally can't really speak up for yourself. So here's the deal. Our electeds, this is not a diss. You make white people rich, wealthy. You're going to vote for your colleague. You know the lobbyist, and the lobbyist is going to be cool, and so you give the lobbyist a vote. But at the time, who then makes them accountable? Who is the person that you helped that didn't help you? Now let me back up, because here's the challenge for us as black folks. As black folks, the elected officials will look at us who may make $100,000 and look at the black people and say, I need you to raise or do this, but you haven't put me any, and look at us and say why we don't do the same thing as the white boys, but you haven't put us in a position to do that. So if you make one industry $300 million a year, this is facts, $300 million a month, the VGT, the video gaming terminals, make a month. What would it have meant if you made them? Should not them have come together and said, we can put $2 to $3 million together for Cam Buckner? And you put $300 million a month. Now, again, there's not a quid pro quo, but this goes to the point of you can't make a withdrawal if you make no deposits. See, if you don't feed the infrastructure, we have an ecosystem that is screwed. So we are, and this is not a diss, but if you can't see how having no cannabis operators until now plays into the mayor's race, then we don't get how it's all interconnected. Now, right now, wealthy white millionaires are coughing up $50,000, $100,000, and they are sending them to these accounts, to these dark money packs. And you know why? Because they have the money to do it. See, if you allow an industry to make $300 million a month, $300 million a month. You know, when you go out to the suburbs and you see them Lottie's pubs and, you know, they got all them VGTs, the slot machines. Do you realize that whole group of people around the state makes $300 million a month? There's three owners, 3 white companies that own all of that business.
It's almost like you can't go nowhere now and not see slot machines. Like, that is crazy. Like, I look like.
So now check this out, though. What if I told you $300 million made every month by basically 3 white companies, no black ownership, and now imagine all of the people that voted for it. And you mean to tell me that none of those people felt the need to say, man, we got a viable candidate here that we can put? Riis, if I make $300 million a month, you have no problem getting $3 million from me. So I want you to look at, and here's the thing. When it comes around to making donations, people will pick up and call me and ask me for more than they'll ask the white boys for. And you make the white boys rich. Riis, they make these white guys, and the white guys, they can take you to any restaurant. They got 15 platinum cards that they can put down. And then we as black lobbyists or black people come around and we be just scratching, and you asking me for the same amount of money that dude makes every week. You taking a monthly check from me. And so I want y'all to understand that so when you're Rod Sawyer and you've been in city council for 12 years and all the votes that you took that helped grow people from Rahm to now to Lincoln Yards, where are these people that you've helped? Because they feel comfortable. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, Riis. The way fundraising works for white folks is they understand that you have to help people for them to be concerned in your vested interest. The problem for black people in business, not social services, is that very often black people who lobby for businesses don't get the same respect as the social services. So yes, everybody loves to see there are rich white lobbyists that got every black elected official and every black business in their pocket. It's crazy to me that there are white guys that walk around to black business owners and tell black business owners that they can make their businesses grow better than a black lobbyist. But it's true. And the other challenge that happens is if you're the black lobbyist, you're just trying to do a good job for your client. You're not trying to do the best job for black people because you don't have that mission. Your job is the client. But again, oftentimes we are not put in positions of power where we can run the joint. So essentially what happens is now, and this is what I would hope to the leaders of the Black Caucus. Can I tell you, if I was the members of the Black Caucus, they should be offended for Cam Buckner, if the Black Caucus. You mean to tell me that with all the people, all of the money, all of the bills that have passed, you mean to tell me that that the Black Caucus couldn't get behind their guy and put $1 million in the bank for him? Riis, do you understand how many people they've made rich this year?
$300 million a month. It should be
$300 million a month.
You should be almost running the city. You know, it should be your
Riis,
hands ain't everybody. You know.
However, they get to walk around. They'll be at the party. They'll be at the soiree tonight, and they'll all be hanging out, having drinks, keying. And I'm okay with, I'm not here to cause no problems, but I do hope that somebody looks around and starts to think, what about when it's your turn? Riis, it's like the rainy day fund. Someday you're going to aspire to do something greater. It's unfortunate that most of the wealthy black people, Riis, did not become wealthy because of black people. Like that get their wealth legislated. They found a relationship with the white folks, right? And so they have maintained those relationships with those white folks who they contribute mightily to. But if you talk to so many black business owners who have been successful, do you know what they say? But when it's the Black Caucus, whether it's Springfield or Chicago, they often say they didn't help me make it, but I'm the first person they call. See, Riis, we've got to start helping our own people. So even if you ain't for helping your people, some point, the reason we should have black cannabis owners is so that when we want to run a mayor and they making $200 million a month, we can call somebody and say, put in $100 million. Put in $200,000. Riis, you know any black people? I was looking through the D2s. You know, Chewy had one person get together and give them $250,000. Riis, whether it's Alderman Sawyer, whether it's Sophia King, whether it is State Representative Cam Buckner. And it's not just them, though, because it's really most black candidates, unless you get picked to be the person, you find yourself starved out. You find yourself starved out. And so guess what? When it's time to run for a greater office, Riis, somebody else has to come in. And usually it's the white people that come in and save you. So now, Riis, because you couldn't call me for $250,000, you couldn't call 4 black business owners who say, you'd make a great mayor, you'd make a great assessor, you'd make a great such and such. We're going to put you in. We're going to raise the money. We're going to get together. Riis, it is my sincere hope that every black elected official that has watched these debates, that has watched this mayoral forum, recognize this could be you. Riis, Kim has some great messages, but let me tell you where they're not going to work. In text messages only. You got to be on TV, right? It's just a fact. And so understanding that, right? Like there's nobody, so all the people y'all done helped in Springfield, ain't nobody wrote this man a check for $250,000 to, like, ain't nobody called all the white lobbyists in the room and said, hey y'all, as the Black Caucus, we want y'all to help Kim. You mean to tell me that nobody is in all of the Black Caucus? Now, I understand the city would be different, but it ain't no people that could be rounded up and say, we helped you make X, Y, Z, ABC. Can you please contribute to Rod or Sophia's campaign? Riis, I got people calling me, telling me that they want me to put on fundraisers for them, right? But then when it's time, like I can't find them for help when it's a bill, when it's an ordinance, when it's an issue. And then they make you jump through 25 hoops to get them to say yes when it's the white boy say, oh, that's my girl, I'll go talk to her. So now all of these same people, so city council, I want you to look at all of the lobbyists that come through that you voted for. And they all get to play, no, we're not going to contribute. We're going to stay out of it. No, we're going to stay out of it. We're not going to contribute. Do you stay out of it when they need your vote? And again, Riis, it's like people go hard for the people who go hard for them. The challenge right now is, who are the people that you went hard for? Right? Like, the biggest challenge I see politically for black folks is they want to make a withdrawal before they make a deposit. And the biggest withdrawals are coming from black banks that are getting no deposits. No, like really. If you think about the fact that we allow a sports betting to be legal in Illinois and there's nobody, but these guys are making $300 million, Riis. A month. How many votes did we put on it? Who calls them in the room and who calls their lobbyists in the room and say, hey, man? But see, when I talk like this, that's when they don't want me to talk because they want you to be mad at me instead of them. Family, if I participated in the $300 million a month, Riis, if I made $20 million a month, I don't think a black candidate has a problem. I feel like anybody could come to me, I'm going to try to help you. But you can't envision us making $20 million a month, but you'll pal around with people who are doing it right next to you. I want you to look at the watches. I want you to look at the cars. I want you got to ask yourself, why are in Springfield, Illinois, which is one of the poorest towns in the state, why is there every luxury car dealer in the town? Because wealth is being created and you are part of it. But when you put us out of it, when you allow them to talk us out of it, guess what? Riis, so it's going to be a lot of people that are going to hit Matt Brewer up about getting money from cannabis, like as a contributor, you got a weed shop. Look at how many hoops he had to jump through. How long, how much money they stretched him out, and nobody cut through the red tape for him. And now we're 3 years into the game, he's getting in. And I can guarantee you somebody is going to tell you him that they made it possible for him. Riis, We have to stop being mad at mazes for like, I really sometimes just want to say, excuse me. You know that dude that just walked out of here made $200 million last month? And he got you helping him, and he ain't got to do nothing for nobody? Guess what? You ain't never, if I'm plugged, you ain't never got to call him. You never got to call him. And I'm not suggesting quid pro quo. I am suggesting that you help the people that help you. Good government leads to this. And as I return to Springfield today, there's a couple things, right? I want you, man, bro, when I go to Springfield, I go to some of these white lobbyist cribs, man. They have a second home in Springfield, Riis, that is laid out. They got all the conveniences of home. They got big old steak houses and stuff, but it's only for a select few people, right? And the challenge, Riis, is that we get to go. So we get to eat there, we get to taste, we get to hang out, but we don't have the ownership. Riis, we always find ourselves begging. Riis, there should be a black dude that walks in that the black people should not be excited to see a white guy. They should be excited to see their own millionaires. Their own wealthy lobbyists who can greenlight, who can say, I can call my client list and raise you $100,000. You know, I had when I worked with the Roosevelt Group, people would talk smack, but they would, if Victor said he wanted to throw a fundraiser for you, guess what? He knew he could put between $30,000 and $50,000 in a room for you, and whether you liked me or not, because he had a crazy client base, he could hit them all up. You ain't got to do the work. Now, I know that people going to turn that into something else, but the reality is the ecosystem is off. Millions of dollars have gone into dark money PACs to support Chuy Garcia and Paul Vallis. Paul Vallis ain't voted on nobody's budget. Paul Vallis ain't legislated no wealth. Paul Vallis ain't done very much for people. But when the white boys got called, they got in a room and they put it together. Chuy Garcia ain't been able to pass out favors per se for a long time. But when the white boys got together, they could get a room together and say, we want to raise $1 million because of the wealth that he helped them generate. Meanwhile, we got 3 black candidates that have served in the Illinois General Assembly that are actually, like, to me, that are actually voting on your issues. There is no reason in the world Cam Buckner should not have had $1 million out of Springfield. Right? I know judicial candidates that raised more. Now, imagine, Riis, all these people about to be coming, and so y'all know in the Illinois General Assembly, right? You saw the casino gambling that is about to, internet casino gambling, right? The $300 million guys, where was they at? If you have not made any deposits, and I just need for y'all to be clear, deposits do not count as getting black lobbyists on. Because no sooner do you get on, you in the fundraising circuit. And I can't keep up with the white boys who can write $10,000 checks. Who can get their client to write $10,000 checks, because I ain't got $10,000 pool. I got to worry about if I'm going to go into a room and they going to say, we don't like dude. as compared to me being able to say I can go into this room and they know that you have our back, and so the clients want to stick with you. You have to create the environment conducive to do business. And the problem a lot of times I see in this space is that because black folks haven't come from the business arena, I understand that the schools is an issue, but there's no money in schools. So whoever the point person is over the economic stuff that y'all vote on, that point person that's over economic stuff has to be also the economic whip. So whoever the point person is, the black on gaming, that's the person that needs to be fundraising out of gaming. Whoever is the black person that was the point person on cannabis legislation, they got to be able to say, hey, look, the cannabis industry got to come. Y'all coming back down here with legislations, with fixes, with all that stuff. Oh, y'all need to go see. But no, me as the black lobbyist, I got to bow down to the rich white guy so I can get the job. And then you happy that I made the money, but realistically, I'm an employee. So it's only so much I could do. Let me be able to work for a black millionaire that was made $200 million. It's like I see all the black millionaires so many times they don't contribute, or they contribute a little bit because they know that their help didn't come from. It's usually somebody white who sees you and says, oh, okay, unless you're in social services. I just need for y'all to understand that there is a direct correlation for everybody else. How Paul Vallis can raise $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. I just need for y'all to understand that there is an interaction, right? You can't ask me for $5,000 if I haven't made $5,000. Or if you asking me for $5,000 out of my personal savings as compared to my client. If that makes sense. Have you helped us build wealth so that we can contribute? Business, politics in the streets, education, the spiritual community, it all works together. Unfortunately, we have placed all of our economics in the hands of elected and preachers. And then when it's time for money to be raised, we either got to go sell our soul to somebody white, or we got to hear, well, why you ain't giving me the same way that such and such gave me? Do you realize that such and such has a dispensary? He has 50 clients on his list that pay him way more than they pay me, as well as they all gave him a pack. My clients tell me I should be happy to be there. And quiet as kept, I am. So I ain't finna rock the boat too much. And instead of empowering us, the white boys get to be cool with you, but not that cool. There's no reason in the world that between Cam, Sophia King, and Rod Sawyer, with all of the votes and all of the people that they have in some way, shape, or form impacted, that they couldn't raise $1 million, that they're not going to be on TV, that Sophia King had to go to her husband. Like nobody? Like nobody.
Do you think it's because they don't think that they have a chance of winning, so why waste the money?
If I have a vote, like maybe Sophia and Rod, because they're going to be out, there's no way in the world that Cam should have not. Yeah, because he's still a big legislator. He's a whip. Again, the Black Caucus should say he got in the room and said, hey, yo, we made these people rich, these people rich, these people rich, these people rich. Who was the point person? Who was the point person? Who's the point person? Like, to me, you can't let your man go out on the field without a complete uniform. His whole sphere of domination was Springfield, Riis. Now, maybe he got jammed because CTU is punking people down there at SEIU. I don't know. But I just don't think that this is not a diss, but we got to be way more strategic. No black cannabis dispensaries equals no black campaign contributions. No black VGT operators means no black gambling contributions. You know what that also means, Riis? That means that when you're asking me to raise $5,000 or $10,000, you're not taking it from a client. You're taking it out of my personal income. Whereas the white guys are taking it from their clients who've made multiple millions of dollars. You understand the difference? Like asking me for 5 stacks without making sure that I got a client that's making me 5 stacks a month means that, and I got 20 of you asking me. And if I don't have it, then guess what I am? SOL, but the white guy get to be, he rich because he taking PAC money, he got it all, and he can redistribute it. And I want our people to understand the connection. Like, literally. Riis, if there was a black person making $100 million, let's say $20 million a month, because there's white guys making $300. Let's say $10 million a month, Riis. $5 million a month. Guess what I'm going to tell you? You call me up a month, or you call me, I'm going to hit you with $1 million.
For sure, that's it.
At the minimum. And
you can lose $1 million and be like, what did I put that $1 million in? You know what? It's okay. I get a 300 next month. You know, like that's almost $1 million. That's $1 million. That's a 30 million a day or something like that.
No, 10 million.
Oh yeah, you're right. 10 million. Yeah.
But think about the 300 million is 10 million a day. Yeah, so these dudes making 10 million a day. Yeah. They be at the party with you. Right? You be kicking it. They will buy you any drink, but nobody gonna.
That's what I'm saying. 10 mil, you can.
Riis. Now think about that's a day.
A day, yeah.
A day.
That's what I said, 10 mil a day.
A day. And I'm saying, like, again.
Paid it over time.
Riis, who's the person that's got that on their mind? Right? Like, okay, you are the whip, but you also the fundraiser. When you put I would like to ensure that black folks, why don't black people have money to run for office? We brag on running for office with little to no money. And we brag on the wins, right? You think about it. The white guy, when the white guy was in the race, Riis, he put $4 million in of his own money. Riis, how many black people you know they could put $4 million of their own money in to win an election that only pays $150,000?
Not too many.
Right? How many black people can you call to say, yo, I need $1 million?
Definitely not too many.
Right. I'm just saying. I want y'all to understand politics and the ecosystem and how our degraded ecosystem means that even when we have quality candidates who can compete, they don't have the chance because we haven't made or created our own wealth. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. I hope that the conversation that wasn't offensive to nobody. You don't think it should have been, right? I wasn't trying to diss nobody. I just want y'all to wake up and see tonight when we at this party, and I'm going to point them out. I'm not going to point them out loud, but when we at this event, I want y'all to be clear that there are people rolling through here that are making tens of thousands, if not hundreds, thousands of millions that kick it with you, but are they really kicking it with you? Or is it phony kicking it? All right, so that's it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler, on the ones and twos. Y'all pray for us as we make the road trip down to Springfield today, and we'll be turning right back around and be back. So I'll be here in the morning for the show. But it is the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case, he was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA